Well, hey guys, welcome to late night. Well, I have been promising, perhaps threatening, that for the last 2 days, I've been saying that we're going to get caught up on some of what is going on with the Ali Alexander, Nick Fuentes, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Milo Yiannopoulos, Kanye West. Like, there's some drama going on in this whole little dark corner of the internet. Now, of course, this week I have been hard at work decoding and deciphering and distilling as much information about the socialist conference that I went to on Saturday as I possibly can. So, we have been spending a lot of our time in the land of the far, 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 far left. But as you all know, I think both sides are crazy. I'm not, regardless of what my new socialist best friend Heron might say, I am not a right winger. I think that the alt right is toxic and absurd, and that Nick Fuentes really is an anti Semite and a racist, 100%. The alt right is like a real thing, and it's really bad, and it's only gotten worse in the past couple of years. And, every once in a while, against my better judgment, I dip my toe in the alt-right, and it usually ends up going horribly, 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 horribly wrong. Ethan Ralph has such blue balls for me. He can barely even contain himself. Every single time I broach the topic of Nick Fuentes and the alt-right, Ethan Ralph is right there. It's like he makes his way out to the window outside my bedroom and calls up to me and demands that I come on his channel. And I say no, because I will give you blue balls for the rest of your life, mother effer. And so every once in a while this happens, and I need to prepare people for what might happen tonight, because I didn't know this when I decided to do this stream. Nick Fuentes is quite literally live on his show right now. Nick Fuentes, we're not going to watch the live show that Nick Fuentes is doing right now. We're going to watch the one from 2 days ago, because that's the one where he's talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that's what I want to see. But Nick Fuentes is quite literally live on the internet right now. And what that means is that Nick Fuentes' little groiper mob are activated. And there will be some people in the chat who remember what happens when Nick Fuentes' groiper mob comes into the chat. They create holy hell and havoc, and they act like complete morons. And my moderators have to go into overtime just blocking everyone and their mother. And so I'm glad to see that there are some moderators in the chat tonight, because we might get a little bit of a workout, okay? We might get a workout. Now, I want to remind my moderators, please just time people out. Don't outright block them unless it's like really egregious. And the reason that I say that is that there have been in the past people who have gotten accidentally blocked on my channel, and they didn't deserve it, but it was like in the midst of insanity. So I understand, like, accidents happen. Sometimes you click on the wrong name. I've totally done it myself. I would just really like to cut down on the accidental blocking of the good people as much as we possibly can. We only want to block people who actually deserve to be blocked. And I know you can use your best judgment, because, many of my moderators now have been through this several times before. And so I just want everyone to prepare themselves so that we might get a little visit from Nick Fuentes' fans tonight. And if they do show themselves, then I actually think that that's a really positive thing, because I want you to see who these people really are. They're not good. Not at all. Not at all. But what are we even talking about? What the hell is even going on? Well, let me show you this. Share screen. And guys, please mount that like button on your way in the door if you would not mind. Ali Alexander. I have been saying since I became aware of Ali Alexander in 2020 when I was involved with the Walkaway campaign, and then Walkaway got involved with the Stop the Steal thing, and thank the good Lord, I was never involved in it. I did not want anything to do with it, mostly because Ali Alexander creeped me out, and I thought he was skeezy, and I thought he was smarmy, and I was like, "This is not a good idea at all." Well, and Ali Alexander also had a penchant for calling me fat on Twitter, which just is just rude, and I think very unchristlike, if I'm honest. And fast forward a few years later, and Ali Alexander is apologizing after being accused of asking for dick pics from, well, like 2 dozen young men. Now, it was no secret to anyone that was, like, around in the orbit of Ali Alexander that Ali Alexander's gay. They're all gay. Just spoiler alert, they are all gay. All of them. So, and no harm, no foul. Like, I don't really care who you sleep with. It's none of my business. But I do think it's interesting this penchant on the alt-right for everyone surrounding Nick Fuentes to turn out to be gay. When Nick Fuentes is the most obviously repressed gay man that I've ever seen in my life. I just think it's funny that every operative that is in the orbit of Nick Fuentes eventually and like is either already out as gay or like pretends not to be gay, like Milo Yiannopoulos, or like is actually gay in the terms of like Ali Alexander. I guess people are saying he's bi, but I can't see any reality in the world that Ali Alexander has ever slept with a woman. I I guess maybe. Anyway, I digress. Ali Alexander apparently got caught asking for dick pics from like 2 dozen boys. And Milo Yiannopoulos is on this warpath where Milo Yiannopoulos has coordinated this effort to out Ali Alexander. And it's called the Ali Files. And they have a Telegram group that I did just join the other day. And they have a Twitter account as well, and I'm just trying to find it really quick. The Ali Files. There we go. The Ali Files. And something funny happens. Hang on, let me see if I can hang on one sec. I just took that off the screen, so I want you guys to see something. Hang on. You know what's funny? Oh, they changed it. Up until maybe a couple hours ago, their profile had Milo Yiannopoulos' like email address in it, email or like Telegram address. So this is absolutely connected with Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm telling you that right now. This is Milo Yiannopoulos has been going off on this for days in his Telegram. And so what I think is happening is so you guys remember when Milo and Kanye West and Nick Fuentes were on Tim Pool's show and Kanye West walked out in like the first 10 minutes of the show. And then Milo had to follow and Nick Fuentes had to follow because, they are incapable of a, unique and, thought of their own. And a couple days later, Milo Yiannopoulos got fired from Kanye West's presidential campaign, right? And and what I heard, and I didn't really look that far into it at the time. What I heard was that Milo and Nick Fuentes had gotten in a fight, and there was a power struggle between Milo Yiannopoulos and Nick Fuentes within the Yay 2024 campaign, and Nick Fuentes won. And Ali Alexander also got involved with the Yay 2024 campaign, whatever. So we all know from Lauren Southern's documentary that Milo Yiannopoulos is, well, a vengeful bitch. and he will keep secrets in his back pocket for years if he has to get revenge on the people who have wronged him. And I guess this is his way of getting revenge on Ali Alexander by starting this whole Ali Files campaign, which has resulted in reporting that Ali Alexander asked for dick pics from like 2 dozen underage boys, and Ali Alexander has apologized for it. And we're going to read this article. This is going to be the first thing we're going to do. I haven't read this yet. We're going to read this article to find out what the Daily Beast is reporting about Ali Alexander. Then I happened to be looking at Nick Fuentes' Telegram the other day because I check in every once in a while in the depths of the internet into Telegram. And when I checked Nick Fuentes' Telegram the other day, oh, there's another factor to this. Okay. So this article comes out in the Daily Beast. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene gets involved because remember, Milo Yiannopoulos is currently working for Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's this weird little incestuous alt-right world. And so then Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted, "This is disgusting textbook predation of underage boys, and Nick Fuentes was in on it. Hashtag Nick knew." In exchange for recanting his accusation, Nick Fuentes and Ali Alexander offered to get him into politics. The FBI should investigate. So Marjorie has gotten herself involved, which, if we're honest about it, is probably not the smartest thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene has like ever done in her life. Marjorie of the clown car that is involved in this situation of Nick Fuentes, Ali Alexander, Milo Yiannopoulos, Kanye West tangentially, I guess, and then you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene coming in. Marjorie is, a sitting congresswoman. So I'm not sure that entering into this little dispute is like the smartest thing that Marjorie could do, but Marjorie is a bit of a firecracker. We never quite know what we're going to get with her. And I just think this is fascinating, like what the hell is going on? So then after I saw this tweet from Marjorie Taylor Greene, I ended up just checking in on Nick Fuentes' Telegram. And he was announcing he was going to go live with the stream we're going to watch tonight, but this was like 2 days ago. And he says, "America first," and I'm quoting Nick Fuentes, these are not my words. "America First is live tonight discussing the smear job against me by Monkey Marjorie Greene and her pedo Jew consultant. Also, Charlottesville Tiki Torch marchers are being hunted down and charged." So apparently, on his show a couple nights ago, Nick Fuentes was ranting about Marjorie Taylor Greene after she tweeted this about him and Ali Alexander. And I want to know what's going on. And so, well, yes, Milo does claim to be straight. Milo claims to be straight. I don't think that Milo's straight. I don't think anyone with a working brain thinks Milo is straight. But, we can play pretend for that. I guess that's another thing for another day. So with Nitwits, we're on, guys, can you believe this is the 20th episode of Nitwits? Nitwits is a stream that I do. I just want to prepare everyone. For my regular 5 o'clock stream, that's a serious stream. Okay. Well, it's not totally serious. I joke around and stuff, but like, that's like, I do try to be more professional and newsworthy. Joshua's not going to be here tonight. This is a no Joshua stream. He's only here on Tuesdays. I'm sorry to disappoint Dixie. I'll send my regards. But okay, so I need to prepare everyone. If you have not watched an episode of Nitwits before, I'm not going to be professional on this stream. I'm going to be catty. I'm going to be gossipy. I might say things that are ill-considered. I'm gonna be working on knitting and binding off my shawl that I've been working on forever because I have to start other knitting projects and I need this done already. And so I this is not like, if you're looking for a non-drama stream, this is not the stream for you. I would highly recommend that if you don't want drama, you go back and watch the 5 p.m. stream. Get caught up. I create a lot of content. Most of you don't watch all of it. So if you don't want drama, don't watch this stream. But I don't want anyone going in the comments going, "This is just a drama channel. All you ever do is drama. Why do you only ever do drama? Why are you always fighting with everyone?" Because the people that do that predictably never watch the dozens of hours of content that I create every single week about other things. I'm just saying, man, take some personal responsibility. You clicked on the thumbnail. If you don't want to be here, then go watch something else. AD says, "Do you need clown shoes to drive a clown car?" I mean, I think that might be a little bit difficult, AD, if I'm honest about it. So what we're gonna do, guys. Oh, and Tinge says these streams are the knit. I appreciate that, Tinge. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do on this stream is we are going to read this article from the Daily Beast just to get a sense of what's going on. And then we're gonna watch this stream from Nick Fuentes from 2 days ago. And you can see the chat on the side right there. That's actually live. They're responding to Nick Fuentes live right now because he is live right now. So that's not corresponding to that stream. That's actually live. So we might see some interesting things there once they figure out that we're watching them. But let's jump in and just read this article. And guys, please mount that like button for me if you would be so kind. And if you want to subscribe to my serious Substack while you're here, of course you can always head over to Carlyn KARLYN.substack.com, and that is where you're gonna get my Unwoke content. That is probably a more productive way to spend your time. But that's not what we're doing tonight. I don't know that we're gonna watch the whole 3 hours, Sam. Don't worry about it. But let's read this article and get caught up. I don't know how much we're gonna watch of Nick Fuentes. I just want to hear the parts about Marjorie. That's what I'm interested in. I want to hear what Nick Fuentes has to say about this. And apparently he wants to talk about other things too, and he'll probably do his own super chats for a while. So I strongly doubt we're gonna go the whole 3 hours, all right? And also I do need to go to bed at some point. Anyway, Stop the Steal organizer apologizes after being accused of asking teen boys for dick pics. A key figure in the pro-Trump Stop the Steal campaign has apologized after being accused of asking teenage boys for sexual pictures. Ali Alexander has become one of the most ubiquitous figures in the MAGA movement. I don't know about that. Trump himself reportedly requested that Alexander speak at his rally before the riot, with his appearance only quashed by last-minute intervention from Trump's aides. Well, Trump's aides were very smart for that. But this week, Alexander stands at the center of a scandal that raises questions about how powerful men in the far right treat their younger acolytes. Well, we all knew what was going on. This is not a secret. This is too gay. Alexander said in a statement issued Friday night that addressed the allegations in broad terms. Alexander, who describes himself as bisexual in the past, added that he was battling with same-sex attraction because he's not bisexual. He's gay. They're all gay. Nick Fuentes is gay. Milo Yiannopoulos is gay. They're all fucking gay. The budding online scandal has also roiled the pro-Trump and white supremacist America First movement. Just months, they're not even pro-Trump anymore. What are you talking about? Nick Fuentes works for Kanye West. They're not pro-Trump anymore. That's just not true. I'm sorry. It's not. Like, accuracy matters. I'm not defending Nick Fuentes. I'm just saying he's not pro-Trump anymore. He works for Kanye West. Just months after it reached new levels of notoriety after its leader Nick Fuentes dined with Donald Trump and rapper Kanye West at Mar-a-Lago. Now Fuentes is facing backlash from his own supporters over whether he ignored warnings that Alexander, his friend and ally, was allegedly soliciting nude pictures from young men within Fuentes' movement. On Friday night, Alexander, who was questioned by the House January 6th committee about his role in organizing a canceled rally dubbed the Wild Protest — I've never heard it dubbed that — outside of the Capitol, which drew crowds to the building right before the riot began, issued a statement on Friday night offering a general apology. I apologize for any inappropriate messages sent over the years, Alexander wrote, adding later, when I've flirted or others have flirted with me, I've flexed my credentials or dropped corny pickup lines. Other times I've been careless and should have qualified those coming up to me's identities during flirtatious banter at the start. Okay. Alexander didn't respond to requests from the Daily Beast. In his statement, he claimed he'd also been targeted by false allegations and edited screenshots of his messages, but declined opportunities to point out which accusers or screenshots aren't legitimate. Rumors about Alexander's alleged sexual behavior towards younger men have circulated in conservative online circles since at least 2015, but they reached a new level late last month after Milo Yiannopoulos, who is always involved in all shenanigans and nonsense, the controversial British provocateur and one-time Alexander ally, turned on Alexander after Alexander and Fuentes pushed him out of a potentially lucrative position in West Nason's presidential campaign. So like I said, Milo Yiannopoulos got in a fight with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes won. Milo got fired. Now Milo is exerting revenge. Yiannopoulos started releasing video interviews and other evidence meant to prove that Alexander sexually propositioned both adult men in their 20s, or at least two teenagers. Yiannopoulos, whose own career as a far-right pundit imploded in 2017 after remarks he made downplaying the seriousness of pedophilia surfaced, claims he has more damaging videos to release about Alexander and Fuentes. I love it when these people fight. It's so beautiful. It's glorious. It's just like all these people know how to do is like it's like war with each other. It's just like from watching from like a detached perspective, I don't even care who wins. I'm here for the show. Does anyone else feel like that? Are you I mean, you're watching my stream, so I'd assume you're somewhat interested. Like, are you as interested in just like the nonsense and the chaos going on in this little Kanye West dark corner of the internet as I am? It's just like I don't even have a favorite. I don't care who wins. It's just funny. It's entertaining. It's better than anything you'll see on TV. It's like our own reality TV show, except it's not on like broadcast TV or anything. It's not edited. It's like our own little juicy reality TV show. That's what's good about it. Yiannopoulos claims he's releasing the video against Alexander because Alexander dropped Yiannopoulos' name to entice young men. One screenshot purports to show Alexander dangling the prospect of meeting Yiannopoulos to a teenage boy. The reason I'm doing this is because he used my name, Yiannopoulos told the Daily Beast. In 2017, Aiden Duncan, a 15-year-old boy in Colorado interested in right-wing politics, sent Alexander nude pictures after the MAGA activists asked him for them, according to an account Duncan gave in March 2023 podcast appearance. Exactly. Are you not entertained? Well, Duncan was a high school sophomore just starting out in politics. Alexander was a 32-year-old with a decade of political work for the Republican Party behind him. And now he was willing to share the connections he had gained through that work with Duncan, as long as the teenager met certain preconditions, including secrecy. You'll have me sharing my entire network with you, Alexander told Duncan, according to his Snapchat screenshots reviewed by the Daily Beast. Originally from Dallas, Alexander pleaded guilty to felony property theft in 2007 and felony credit card abuse in 2008. But despite his criminal background, Alexander, who was then using his legal name, Ali Akbar, managed to rise in the GOP during the online conservative backlash to the Obama administration. Leveraging his position writing for blogs with names like Hip Hop Republican, Alexander received funding from billionaire conservative mega donor Robert Mercer, organized a national club for bloggers that later faced questions about how Alexander spent the money he raised, and hosted an annual party at CPAC. By 2017, Alexander had become an ardent Trump supporter with a passion for social media trash talk. He became a protege of MAGA figures like Roger Stone and InfoWars' Alex Jones, and ran with a group of other young MAGA internet provocateurs, including anti Muslim activist Laura Loomer and blundering smear artist Jacob Wall. But in his messages to Duncan, according to the screenshots, there was one name Alexander dangled as a perk for the teenager if he kept up contact with Alexander, Milo Yiannopoulos. In a September 4th, 2017 exchange about an upcoming trip Alexander purportedly told Duncan he would introduce the teenager to Yiannopoulos and speculated about whether the boy would be Alexander's arm candy and suggested the boy would have to be entertaining. Rolling with me, Alexander wrote, according to his messages. Mostly, I'll have an entourage. Depends. Depends. If it's me babysitting you during the day, then no. I don't have kids. If it's something more entertaining, then maybe. All depends on what we're up to. No matter what, I'll let you meet Milo. There's probably 5 people I'll introduce to him, but who will be my arm candy? And the one with me, always in VIP and in out. Hmm. Well, that is to be determined by the boy who plays his cards the most correct. Isn't he a pompous asshole? Arm candy greater than babysitting, Alexander added, according to the screenshot. Other screenshots show Duncan sending Ali a picture, which was rejected in a version of the screenshot reviewed by the Daily Beast. Alexander responded with the face with heart eyes emoji, asking the teenager which app Alexander should use to send him money. An undated series of screenshots purport to show Alexander laying out rules for his contact with the teenager, many of them stressing secrecy and a sort of quid pro quo relationship between sexual availability and career opportunities. Everything is secret and private, one rule read. We're family. Another said that Duncan was allowed to say no, but that Alexander might deprive him of something unspecified in return. Boundaries are cool, the message read, allowed to say no. However, the less you deprive me of, the less I deprive you of. I'm a big sharing person unless it's not even. Finally, according to the messages, Alexander asked Duncan to be mindful of each other's reputation. In an appearance last month on a podcast hosted by white supremacist Richard Spencer, who voted for Joe Biden, Duncan claimed that Alexander wanted him to fly to Texas and to be his intern, assuring the teenager that the boy could just lie to his parents and say he was going to a swim meet. Oh, isn't that nice? But Alexander had grown frustrated by May of 2019, claiming that the still underage Duncan wouldn't send him good jack off material, according to the screenshots. You don't even send me videos anymore, Alexander wrote, according to the messages. No good jack off material. Don't even want to be my side piece. A day later, according to screenshots, he asked Duncan to come to Texas for a week for an internship. Duncan, now 21, has since become a relatively high profile member of Nick Fuentes' racist America First movement, going by the name Smiley. On Spencer's podcast, Duncan said he believed Fuentes knew about the rumors about about Alexander's alleged solicitation of nude pictures. I think Nick is 100% aware, Duncan said on his podcast. Last Thursday, Duncan posted a statement on Twitter about his communications with Alexander. When I was 15, I was naive and desperate, Duncan wrote. I thought I had no choice but to cooperate with inappropriate and humiliating requests if I wanted to make it in politics. I figured that was just the nature of the game. Alexander started messaging 17-year-old Lance Johnston in the summer of 2019, according to Johnston. The floppy-haired teen was a rising star on conservative TikTok communities, amassing more than 140,000 followers under the screen name Lance Videos. Johnston and Alexander started exchanging messages about politics. Johnston claims that a friend warned him early into the communications that Alexander has a history of asking for sexually explicit pictures. My friend at the time had told me that he had heard some weird rumors about him, Johnston told the Daily Beast. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know. I was 17. I had just gotten into politics. Alexander moved oddly quickly towards discussing sex with the teenager, according to Johnston. In July 2019, in what Johnston claimed was the night of the White House social media summit, where Trump feted Alexander and other conservatives as victims of online censorship, the 34-year-old Alexander used the eggplant emoji to ask the teenager for pictures of his penis, according to a screenshot. Show me your eggplant, Alexander wrote, according to the messages. What's that? Johnston said. OMG, dick, Alexander wrote back, according to the picture. Johnston said he refused and quickly blocked Alexander. Johnston took a screenshot of the exchange, but he was fearful of raising the issue more broadly on the far right. I thought in my mind that he would try his best to try to discredit me and ruin me politically and influentially with my time in politics, Johnston said. Still, a friend of Johnson's publicly or publicized the screenshot, which began circulating in conservative circles. Alexander took to a video live streaming app to defend himself. You can have any conversation you want with someone who's 17, Alexander said. The eggplant emoji screenshot gained new circulation in far right circles in 2022 as Alexander and Fuentes achieved prominence as members of the West's entourage. That's when Johnston claimed Fuentes said he asked him to say in a text message to Alexander that the screenshot had been doctored and apologized. Presumably, the text message could be itself be screenshotted and used to discredit Johnston. Nick personally asked me to apologize to Ali for supposedly faking the message, Johnston said. Fascinating. But Johnston insists the eggplant screenshot is legitimate. In exchange for disowning the eggplant exchange, according to Johnston, Fuentes and Alexander offered to get him a job in politics. Basically, they wanted me to lie, apologize to Ali, and then they said they would try to get me a job, Johnston said. Fuentes denied Johnston's claims about him in an email to the Daily Beast. I never offered Lance Johnston a job, nor did I urge him to disavow a screenshot, Fuentes wrote. In a post on a social media app, Telegram, Fuentes claimed that Johnston was using the screenshot to extort Alexander into giving him a job on West's campaign. 4 years later, Johnston thinks Alexander used his prominence in the MAGA movement for very creepy ends. You think? No person like Ali should ever be near politics. Well, I don't agree with that. Ali Alexander fits into politics absolutely perfectly. There are so many people exactly like Ali Alexander in the political space. It's why I have tried my level best to detach myself from it. It's really bad. The eggplant exchange is a genius name for a gay bar. It really is, Love Cat. It really is. Alexander, who has described his ethnicity as half black, half Arab, says he's bisexual, might seem like an unusual ally for an avowed racist and homophobic American First movement led by Nick Fuentes, except when you realize that Nick Fuentes is gay. But Fuentes, a 24-year-old who marched at the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville with a long history of racist, anti-Semitic, and sexist remarks, has appeared frequently with Alexander at events like Stop the Steal rally in Georgia in 2020. I was actually at that rally. Fun fact. I was at that rally. The pair would later be arguably the most prominent far-right figures in West's short-lived, virulently anti-Semitic presidential campaign after Yiannopoulos' ouster. In text messages reviewed by the Daily Beast, Yiannopoulos warned Fuentes in broad terms about his ally's reputation. Alexander wants to come to your events to have sex with underage boys, Yiannopoulos wrote in January 2022, text to Fuentes. Snap out of it. As the allegations mounted against Alexander over the weekend, Fuentes says he disavowed Alexander's actions and called them gross, but accused Yiannopoulos of sitting on claims until he could use them to get revenge on his rivals from the West campaign. That's absolutely true. In a Telegram post, Fuentes also blamed Duncan and Johnston for flirting with Alexander to advance their careers. Duncan and Lance were willing to go along with flirting with Ali to varying degrees without any protest, because they thought it would advance their political careers, Fuentes wrote. If you are flirting with an adult gay man because you think it's going to land you a job, you know full well what you're doing and it's gross. For all his faults, Nick Fuentes is actually not wrong about that. I mean, I'm not saying it's gross. I don't care either way. Flirt with whoever you want to. It makes no difference to me. But Nick Fuentes is correct that if you're flirting with an adult gay man because you think it's going to land you a job, you absolutely know what you're doing. 100%. Sorry, but even at 15, I would have sent nudes to an adult gay man. There's something wrong there. Or I would never have, oh, excuse me, Freudian slip because Nick Fuentes is obviously gay. I would never have sent nudes to an adult gay man. Exactly, Tem. Broken clock. Exactly. Fuentes added that the real victim in this entire saga is me. The real victim in this is Nick Fuentes. Sure. In a self pitying post, he referred to himself as an incel, internet slang for involuntarily celibate. Sounds like everybody involved got what they wanted, Fuentes wrote, except me, the incel, who is now somehow being blamed for things I had nothing to do with. This isn't the first time Fuentes' racist group has been dogged by accusations of inappropriate sexual behavior regarding children. In August, Fuentes' associate Alejandro Richard Velasquez Gomez was arrested and charged with possessing child porn. Oh, I didn't know that. Velasquez, who went by Latino Zoomer online, had been photographed with Fuentes, also faces charges over allegedly threatening a conference held by a rival conservative group. That sounds like it's pretty much par for the course. The accusations against Alexander and his apology have already alienated far right figures. I don't know how to pronounce. Oh, Baked Alaska. The far right provocateur known as Baked Alaska, he's such an asshole, who was recently released from a prison term for his role in the Capitol riot, posted a statement on Sunday saying he would not work with Ali in any capacity moving forward. So Ali admitted to sending inappropriate messages and flirting with young boys, pro Trump rapper Bryson Gray tweeted, disgusting. I think Mike Cernovich also denounced Ali. Despite his Friday night apology, Alexander struck a more defiant tone hours later in a bizarre late night Telegram audio stream from what appeared to be a karaoke bar. As an amateur performance of Billy Joel's You May Be Right played in the background, Alexander told an acquaintance that his life had become a reality show revolving around one question: implode or not implode. It's gonna be one heck of a night, guys. Asked by someone on the stream whether he wanted to perform karaoke, Alexander demurred. I'm in the middle of a scandal, Alexander said at one point. I can't do karaoke. I'm in the middle of a scandal that I'm going to survive. I feel like there needs to be some sort of t-shirt that's like Ali Alexander like going, "No." Like defiantly denying karaoke. It's like, "No karaoke. No, I don't have time for you right now. I'm in the middle of a scandal." I'm gonna do an AI art of Ali Alexander singing karaoke and I'm gonna caption it, I'm in the middle of a scandal, like he's singing it like Sammy Davis Jr. Come on, that's a good idea. You have to admit, that's a really good idea. He's in the eye of the tiger. Yes. Yes, John Morgan, you need to write a fanfic about this immediately. John Morgan. Yes, John Morgan is here. He it's all of a sudden feels like a fanfic. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the article. All right. So basically, all of the facts that I articulated earlier to you appear to be founded in this article, which is that Ali Alexander was caught asking for dick pics from like a lot of underage boys, and Milo Yiannopoulos is releasing all this information as some form of revenge against Ali Alexander and Nick Fuentes. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene inserted herself into the situation because Milo Yiannopoulos works for Marjorie Taylor Greene. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene publicly denounced Ali and told the FBI to investigate him. And then Nick Fuentes announced in his Telegram group just the other night, America First is live tonight discussing the smear job against me by monkey Marjorie Greene and her pedo Jew consultant. And so I thought that we would watch Nick Fuentes' stream from the other night. Now, Nick Fuentes is currently live. If we go, like, he's actually currently live on the internet right now. And so if you see this chat going on this side, that's actually responding to Nick Fuentes' live stream, like, right now. But we're not going to watch the one that's live right now. We're going to watch the one from a couple nights ago where Nick Fuentes is talking about, excuse me, being defamed, I say in quotes, defamed by Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's what we're watching. We're not watching whatever the hell he's doing tonight. I don't know what he's doing tonight. We're watching from 2 nights ago. All right. And so we're going to watch and we're going to see what Nick Fuentes has to say. Now, a couple of warnings. Number one. Well, actually, first, I need to set this up so I can actually hear the sound. Number one warning on a Nick Fuentes Nitwits stream. There is a distinct possibility that Nick Fuentes' Groyper fans are going to make their way into my live chat. Because every single time we have watched Nick Fuentes for Nitwits before, and Nitwits, guys, if you just joined, Nitwits is a show I do whenever I feel like it, where I have to watch, well, I don't have to, but I want to watch something on the internet, and I think that, you know, I'm not going to waste my time. I might as well do it with friends and do a stream about it rather than sit down on my couch and watch it by myself. So basically, I do a stream called Nitwits where I'm watching other people's content and we're talking about it. And so that's what we're doing here. This is going to be a drama stream. There's going to be cattiness. There's going to be bitchiness. I will not be held responsible for anything I say tonight. It's just the way it goes. That's a Nitwits stream. I abdicate all professional responsibility when we're doing Nitwits. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But we've done a couple of episodes with Nick Fuentes before. And what happens is that when we stream Nick Fuentes, his little Groyper fans come and invade my chat. And they create havoc and general insanity. And they say a lot of really anti-Semitic things and downright racist things and really awful things and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I would prefer not to antagonize the Groypers, all right? If they don't show up, I actually think that's better. I just want to prepare everyone that the Groypers might show up, and I have a team of moderators in the chat, and I'm going to ask my moderators just to time them out. I will be the person blocking people. You guys can time them out. And that way, hopefully, people won't get accidentally blocked and caught in the crosshair. But I'm going to tell you, if Nick Fuentes' supporters show up and you start shitposting in the chat, then even if you're not I don't know who's Groypers and who's not Groypers. We're going to be timing people out and blocking people based on shitposting and general insanity. So if you don't want to get blocked, you need to be calm and chill and have a good vibe about you, all right? Because once they start invading the chat, we don't know we can't tell the difference. Okay? And so we're going to do the best we can. I just want everyone to be prepared. Number 2, Nick Fuentes is a genuine anti-Semite and a racist and an all-around toxic bad person, and I don't know what Nick Fuentes is going to say on this show. He has already called Marjorie Taylor Greene and Milo Yiannopoulos like Jews several times, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that Nick Fuentes is going to say really, really, really toxic and offensive things. I don't know what he's going to say. I do not co-sign Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is probably a Fed, is definitely a repressed gay man, and you know, I'm watching this because I wanna know what's going on the far right. This is our own little reality TV show, like I said earlier. This is drama and intrigue and insanity and sex and drugs and toxic personalities all meshed into one. And it's our own little alt-right reality show, and I wanna know what's going on, and I wanna hear from the horse's mouth himself. So that's why we're watching it, but it's not I am not co-signing anything that Nick Fuentes says, and I wanna be very, very clear about that. Number 2, idea for member stream, only inner circle streams, make it a call-in show. It's been a while since you've done one. That's a really good idea, number 2. I have said that I'm gonna start calling my supporters, my supporters the inner circle for the cult. I thought that was a good idea, but that's a really good idea, number 2. I might do that. We'll have to think about it. All right, guys, so let's get started with Nick Fuentes from a couple days ago, and the show is titled Marjorie Taylor Greene defames patriot with help from a Jewish pedophile. Let's all just take a moment in prayer for what we're about to watch and experience on this show. I love you all. We're going to make it through it together. Mount that like button for me. Let's get started.
When's enough enough, babe? When's enough enough, babe? Shit. Just eat a Big Mac, you stupid bitch.
Angel, you can move a country and the peace don't cost no money. That's the stuff you like. Now that's a lie. Feel like angel, you can move a country and the peace don't cost no money. That's the stuff you like. Now that's a lie.
Feel like you're not allowed to make jokes anymore. You're not allowed to make jokes. It's not funny. Sipping wine, having some pasta, having some pizza. No. I'm weird. I'm normal. I'm not normal, but I'm eccentric. I'm quirky. I'm original. All right, I'm an original.
One person raised his voice.
Oh my God.
Teacher couldn't believe it. The classroom couldn't believe it either. But in the end, he had logic on his side.
This intro is gay. It's true. This intro is exceptionally gay,
And at the end
Nick.
of the day, he proved his point.
This is like the longest land blessing that we ever watched. Remember we watched that like half-hour land blessing? I kind of want to fast forward, but I kind of don't because it's like so cringy and awful. Half-hour land blessing. Exactly. Nick, this intro is proof that you're gay, Nick. You can come out now. We all know. You've announced it to us expertly. You are obviously gay. Why is this so long? How much longer is this gonna go? Please start the show. Please start. No! I can't get off now. I can't fast forward. Oh, it's getting softer. I think we're ending. I think we're there. Sin made it. Hey, Sin. Oh. Are we going live? What's happening? Where'd the gay music go? Where'd it go? Did I accidentally turn the volume down or something? No? Where'd the music go? Nick Fuentes has been doing this a long time. You would think that Nick Fuentes would be better at this than I am. All right, since there's no sound, I'm gonna fast forward. Oh, it's back! Okay, we're not doing this. I'm not gonna do this okay. Okay. Why is this still going? Oh, starting soon. Excellent. I feel like we got a good enough taste of that intro where we really just didn't need any more. What is starting? Oh, there he is. Okay.
We'll get
Okay.
and
Okay, hang on. I want to go back to the beginning. We're doing this proper. Okay. Wait, what did he say to John Doyle? Oh, was it that thing about John Doyle sleeping with Savannah Hernandez or something? Was that what it was? Is that what you're talking about, Kevin? Yeah, I heard about that.
good evening, everybody. You're
Finally.
watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back with you here tonight on Monday. We have a lot to talk
I
about
can't believe
tonight.
John
Lots to
Doyle
get
slept with
into. A
Savannah
big
Hernandez.
show. Our
She's
featured
way too
story
hot for
tonight
John
is about
Doyle. Like,
Marjorie
way
Taylor
too hot.
Greene, Monkey Marjorie, who's now attacking me again for the second time this month. This time, once again, stealing right from the pedophile.
I mean, we at least know John Doyle's not a virgin.
Copy and
I guess that's
pasting it onto her
progress.
Twitter to attack me in coordination with Will Sommers of the radical left publication, The Daily Beast, accusing me of being complicit in the recent revelations about Ali. So we'll talk all about that. We'll talk about the article. We'll talk about what's in it. Full
it's a good thing we read it first.
I have no platform to defend myself on Twitter. I can't post. I can't get on a Twitter.
Nick, you did when you got unbanned from Twitter, you did come in like a hellfire and then get in a Twitter space and basically like say Hitler was a lot of things that I'm not going to say because someone's going to clip that shit out of context. But Nick, you said some things when you got back on Twitter. That it wasn't just magic that you got permanently banned on Twitter again, okay? I remember, I heard the recording.
Twitter space. I tried to do one today. I got banned instantly. I made another one and got blocked. So I'll explain the whole situation in detail and we'll get into it all tonight. If we have time, we'll also talk about another story. And if we run out of time, we'll cover this tomorrow. But this is interesting. There have now been at least 2 arrests in connection with the Charlottesville rally from August 2017. Apparently, there is a prosecutor in Virginia who is looking to charge people with intimidating with a torch. Apparently, that's a crime. That's in the penal code. That if you use fire, specifically a torch, for the purpose of intimidation, that's a very specific crime. And so they're arresting people now nearly 6 years after the fact, and maybe they'll be going after everybody. Good news is I wasn't at the Tiki Torch March, so hopefully I'm spared in that. But man, they are coming after the Patriots. It's tough out there. So we'll talk about that too if we have time. Most likely, though, I actually don't know. I don't know how it's going to shake out tonight, but we might cover it tonight. We might save it for tomorrow, just so you know. But that's that. Before we get into the show, I want to remind you to smash the follow button here on Cozy. Get a push notification on Telegram when you do. Also follow me on Rumble. I'm live on Rumble every night as well. And all the replays are available on Rumble too, so check me out there as well. Also, follow me on Gab, Telegram, True Social. Links are down below. Did I push the show on Telegram? I can't remember if I did or not. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Okay. What else? I apologize. I was supposed to be doing a big collaboration on Friday. I was supposed to be going actually on Fresh and Fit, but Myron got sick. He was in Houston. He came down with
really
something.
Good advice, Tim.
We're going to do a big show with Sneeko.
Excellent
but they canceled
advice
on us. And I guess he was feeling better last minute, and they did another show anyway. But we'll be rescheduling with them. That's why I wasn't here Thursday and Friday. So just a heads up on that. You did get a pretty good space, though, on Friday. I went off. Good stuff. I had about 3,300 live viewers on Twitter. On a Twitter account that was like 10 minutes old. I made a Twitter account on Friday, and like I said, I don't know exactly how long it was. Maybe it was up for 30, 40 minutes. I went live, and I had 3,300 viewers. I got 4,000 followers. I got banned in the middle of my space. I got to keep the account for something like 2 hours. This is what it's like now.
Well, you shouldn't have
I
come
make a
and
Twitter
worshipped
account.
Hitler in a
And just
Twitter
think
space,
about that.
Nick.
I'm supposed to be somebody where you can't say my name out loud. I'm banned from everything. I'm banned from Twitter. I make an account. I don't promote it anywhere. And in 30 minutes, I have 3,300 live viewers. It's one of the biggest spaces on the website. And it's just me. I don't have guests in there. It's just me rambling. 4,000 followers at a moment's notice. And then, if that's not remarkable enough, I get banned in the middle of the space on a 2-hour-old account, meaning they manually banned me. They went in, found out it was me on a burner account, and then they terminated it in the middle of the space. It's such a ridiculous life. You know, I think about, we'll be getting into all the attacks tonight. That's the first thing we'll be getting into. But sometimes I zoom out, and it's such a ridiculous life.
Yes, we are still in my month of narcissism, but I think
When
he's
you
going to be more
consider the
narcissistic
two
than me tonight, Andrew.
aspects of it, the two sides, which is, on the one hand, I'm a person who is totally banned and totally slandered and smeared. You go on my Wikipedia and it says he's a alt-right, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, anti-Semitic, Holocaust-denying, misogynistic, Christian fascist.
Don't wish that evil on us,
Not to mention
Penelope.
the level of censorship.
Why would you try to manifest that?
In spite of this, I could go onto a platform and in 30 minutes
Boomer is working for Trump now.
Get more engagement and carry more followers by myself than virtually anybody on their accounts with their real names that they've had for years and accumulated a following. So, like, that's remarkable that I could go live and just pull like that because I'm such a great entertainer. And then it's also remarkable that level of censorship that some people...
I would kill for HG Tudor to analyze Nick Fuentes. If there are any HG Tudor fans in the house, can someone please email him and very nicely ask him to analyze Nick Fuentes for his like celebrity narcissist, like, you know, analysis thing that he does? I don't want to do it because I don't think he would listen to me. But like, if one of you are like one of his fans, one of it, what does he call them, Tudorites? Can someone please email HG Tudor at his designated address, because he has a specific address that you can email him suggestions, and ask him to analyze Nick Fuentes? Or like, if he does a live stream, can someone send him in a super chat and please ask him to analyze Nick Fuentes? If you do this and he does analyze Nick Fuentes, I will give you free merch from my merch store. I would kill HG Tudor. Please, please, please. I'm not even joking. I'm a great admirer of your work. You are amazing. You are the best. You are the best narcissist in the world. Please analyze Nick Fuentes for all of us. We would be in your debt. We would all buy your books. I've already bought like 15 of your books, but I would buy more of your books. Like, please analyze Nick Fuentes. It would be the greatest gift you could ever give to any of us. We would be forever in your debt.
Never have a problem. Some people, they get de-boosted. They get shadow banned. Some people, they get banned, but they maintain an alt account for years. Then there's me, where I can't have an account for 2 hours without getting banned. And then I go live today, and they banned me before I could even begin. They banned me in 10 minutes. Regardless, it was a great space. I was on there for 3 hours. It's on the NJF archive on Telegram. So if you missed it, you could still catch a replay. Rave reviews. Everybody loved it. Today, I did another Twitter space. I don't think this one was as good because I was just pissed off, if I'm being honest. I saw this tweet from Marjorie and I was just pissed.
I hope that recording exists somewhere.
On Friday, I was having a little more fun, but today I was just mad. Still a good space, though. But I know I didn't do a show Friday. That's what was going on. But I did give you some good content. Anyway, so we'll get into it, I guess. And I'll just be candid and honest about it. It's a tough deal. And I'll get into it and I'll break it down piece by piece because there's really a couple of items.
I
And the
agree.
first
Like, he's
is the
so
thing in
boring.
itself.
I don't
As
understand.
always, there's the thing in itself, which is these accusations against Ali and the accusations then against me for being friends with Ali. And that's what I would say is the thing in itself. That's the subject. But there's another piece, which is that, as always, it's not about the thing in itself. That thing, that subject, is ammunition which is being used to attack me for a variety of reasons.
Because
Personal,
you're an obviously
political,
repressed gay man?
professional, you name it. And before anybody goes and rolls their eyes at that, this has been happening to me for my entire adult life. I have been attacked for everything you can imagine. The first time I got attacked, it was because I said that the First Amendment doesn't apply to Muslims. And there was the thing in itself, and then there was me being attacked for it.
It's a
Then it
pretty
was
fucking stupid thing to
Charlottesville
say. Well,
in August 2017.
you know,
Before that,
perhaps
it
people had
was
good
a
reason,
leaked,
Nick.
secretly recorded video where I said race mixing is bad.
Well,
Go figure. And the Jews are out to get me.
I told you
Again,
he was racist.
go figure.
Told you. I'm
After
not responsible
that,
for what Nick
it
Fuentes
was
says.
that I supported the DACA amnesty,
Yeah.
if you could believe it, back in October 2017.
Uh-huh.
After that, it was a feud about $3,000 in a computer with James Alsop and Matt McGuinn.
See, this is something that HG Tutor talks about. He talks about how he's getting like pity points. He's going through this whole list of all the ways in which Nick Fuentes is an oppressed victim to get pity points. HG Tutor, please analyze him. Please. It would be so much more interesting than Meghan Markle for the 8,087th time. Please analyze Nick Fuentes. HG, we need you.
And in January 2018. After that, it was a cookie joke that I made denying the Holocaust. After that, it was a live stream with Catboy Cammy. After that, it was, an endless cascade of these kinds of things. You heard just a few months ago from Max Blumenthal that I lied about how I got on the no-fly list. And before that, it was that the viewership on this website is fake and that I actually got my money back, but lied to everybody to grift off of it. And so it's very important. We talk about both things. I'll talk about the subject of the matter, but it's very important to keep in mind. And the Daily Beast is not going to cover it fairly because the Daily Beast is a left-wing publication. And they've been writing hit pieces about me for years. And people like Millie Weaver, who has been out to get me since Charlottesville, when she goes on a Twitter space, she's not going to give me a fair hearing either. But it's important for people that care and that watch the show and are invested in this to know that it is important that this is a pattern. And this is a pattern of events that's been going on
yes,
forever.
Nick, you are a poor victimized
who I am and my
something
views
such
and what
and
I
such.
represent.
No one is more
As
oppressed
always,
than you, Nick.
And that's what goes on, is things happen personally, professionally, politically. It's things I say. It's people I know. It's things I do. It's things involving money or the law. And these things, for various reasons, are bundled up and thrown at me to destroy my reputation, to try to get people to stop listening to me talk.
Surprised.
Is ultimately what goes on. And this is another aspect like this. And it doesn't mean we're not going to talk about the thing in itself, but we also have to talk about that side of it too. So we'll cover both things. So like I said, we'll get into it with those two pieces, but I have to say I'm not really suited to this kind of thing because I do the long form content. I do live streams. I talk for hours without a script. It's extemporaneous. And I just tell you the truth. I just tell you what I think. I tell you honestly. I don't really have a mind for public relations. I don't really care to get people on my side or win them over or convince them I'm such a great guy. I just like to argue my point of view and my side of things. And so with regard to this situation, for instance, when all this stuff dropped a week ago, I could have went out and said, you know what? I throw Ali under the bus and I disavow and I feel terrible about Smiley and the trauma he endured and the victims and all this. As a matter of fact, I could have done all that a year ago. Milo told me that there were rumors a year ago. And if I heard that and had a mind towards, I better make sure I look the best, I better make sure I keep my reputation squeaky clean, I would have said, that's all I need to hear. Ali, I never want to talk to you again. But what did I say a year ago? I said, well, that's a rumor. Show me some evidence. Without evidence, I can't do anything. Now, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's what I think is right. That's what I think is fair. I don't want to go to a friend of mine based on a rumor and say, hey, this rumor is not going to look good for me if it's true. So we can't talk anymore. That's what I felt was fair. And I said as much. I said, well, I'm not going to go to a friend of mine and say that we can't be friends, someone who I've known for a long time, just based on hearsay.
Female versus male autism.
Without
Indeed,
that,
Jay Hundo. Thank you for the super chat.
And as we've now learned from Aiden, Duncan, Smiley, among others, no evidence was ever presented. And it's the same thing like with last week.
What?
All this stuff comes out, and I gave my honest opinion on Friday, and I said, well, it's totally inappropriate and disgusting. One, for a person to be homosexual at all. I feel like that even just is slides past, but it should be acknowledged. What exactly is a transgression? Well, it's wrong to be a homosexual, check. And of course, it's wrong for an adult homosexual to solicit nude photographs from a teenager. Frankly, it's wrong for anybody to solicit nude photography from anybody. These things are wrong. We all know that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows how I feel about these things. I've done this show for years, and I've been against promiscuity, fornication, pornography, adultery, homosexuality in all its forms. And so
listen, I'm gonna say this. I promise. Well, no, I can't make that promise. I was gonna say I promise this is gonna be the last time I say something like this, but I just can't make that promise. I just can't. Getting laid would be the best thing to ever happen to Nick Fuentes in his life. Getting laid would be like the best 15 seconds that Nick Fuentes has ever had in his life. Nick Fuentes' world would fundamentally change if he would just allow himself to get laid in the way that he so obviously desperately wants to get laid. He is so sexually repressed that it has made him into a horrible, hateful, toxic human being. And I really just feel like if Nick Fuentes just allowed himself to get bent over and fucked in the way that he obviously and completely wants to, he would release so much like repression and anxiety and angst, and his life would be fundamentally better for it, and he would be able to see the world with fresh eyes. He would have a new lease on life. He would have something to exist for that isn't like this little dark corner of the internet, like club of hate that he exists in with all of the other men who will not allow themselves to get laid. I swear to God. It's just like, it would be the best decision that he has ever made in his life. Illustration Station says, Carlin, are there any people from your walkaway days that are actually worth their salt, like authentic people? I think that Shamika Michelle is awesome. Shamika Michelle is who she is. Shamika Michelle believes the things she says. I think she does. I'm pretty sure she does. She is a good and decent person and a wonderful mother. And I think I like her like a lot. Who else would I say is genuine? I mean, I don't think everyone is fake is the thing. It's like I know I talk about the fake people a lot because I think we need to talk about the fake people. But like I don't actually think everyone is bad. So if you give me a specific name, I can respond to it if I have thoughts on that person. But I do think a lot of them are just grifting on the conservative right. They're just saying what they need to say to make money. That's it. God, Jay Hundo, I wish I had my vape right now, and I'm not even lying. I do have something here I can smoke, but I can't do it on camera. All right, let's keep listening.
Said as much on Friday. I said that it's totally wrong. I also said, though, that in the case of Aiden or Smiley, he's 15 years old, and he's sending nude pictures of himself to a gay man knowingly to extract a political favor. I said, and while that's not as wrong as what Ali did, it's still wrong. That's not a take that's going to win me any favor. It's not anything that's going to help my reputation. Nobody's going to pat me on the back for saying that. Instead, people are going to cut that portion and post it by itself and say, this is what he had to say about the matter. But that's how I feel. And that's what I'm telling you honestly. But, I didn't start this show so that I could be liked. I didn't start this show so that people would be my biggest fan or anything. I started this show to express myself and tell people what I thought was right and tell the truth. And that's what I've done about everything when it comes to politics. And people take my political statements out of context and try to use that
Oh,
to
it
get
is,
people
isn't
to
it?
not like me. Or
Happy
they'll take
420,
statements
everyone.
I say like about killing legislators. You remember that one? That was awesome 2 years ago when I said, what are you going to do? You can't kill them. And they like to throw that out there or whatever. Personal, professional, political, that's how they play it. But I didn't start out saying things just to cover my own ass or look good. I'm not going to start now. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is. If I didn't make a compromise a year ago, I'm not going to make a compromise now and just start saying stuff to cover myself. But but we'll get into it. And I just want to preface by saying that's why it's tough, because the easy thing and the smart thing would be for me to go out here and say, like a hostage situation. Well, but I have to be honest with you about the whole deal. And, and I stand by what I've said so far with regard to Smiley and Lance and the whole situation. And, I know that people don't like to hear that, and maybe they don't like to hear it the day that it all
Nick,
drops,
can
but
you
that's how I
please say
feel
something coherent?
with
Can you
regard to
take us through
Smiley
the
and Lance. I
story?
think that in both cases,
I'm really over this
I think they know what they're
preamble.
doing. It doesn't excuse Ali at all. It doesn't justify it. It doesn't rationalize it. It certainly doesn't make it right. And also, it's not comparable. It's also something that isn't equivalent. What Ali did was worse because he's an adult, and adults are responsible. But by the same token, and I said this on Friday and Saturday, and I stand by this, there's a culture within the right wing, just like there is in every other industry, where, if we're all being honest, everybody knows what they're doing with regard to these stories. When Lance, who is
That's
probably
kind
a
of true, to be honest.
bisexual, is flirting with Ali, and Lance is 17 and Ali is older, and Ali's interested in a teenager, which is wrong, and Lance is trading his sexuality for a political favor, we all know what that is. We've all seen that before. And many people in politics or other industries have participated in that. And it shouldn't happen, but it does. It's wrong. It's wrong that you have people that are using
You'll
their
email him for me,
position and
Eliza Jane?
status for
Ask him very
sexual
nicely,
favors. It's wrong,
please.
especially when they're homosexual. It's especially wrong when
I
they're
appreciate
involving
it.
minors. And it's gross. It's also wrong that whether it's women
Celtic,
or
it's your birthday?
boys, that they would
Hang on.
use
Happy birthday, Celtic. Thank you for being on the channel tonight. I hope you have a really good day.
nudity or their sexuality to try to get a leg up professionally. That's also wrong. And I think that, by the way, at 15, 16, 17, I think you know what you're doing. It's not to say that again, the two things can be true at the same time. And so I said that. And all I'm trying to say at this point is I'm being honest with you about the situation. I'm being honest with you about how I feel about the whole thing. Now, with regard to the subject matter in itself, I've largely addressed most of it. So accusations have been brought against Ali. It's rumors I've heard for a long time. Up until a week ago, never seen any evidence. I heard almost exclusively from Milo Yiannopoulos that Ali is gay and a pederast and this sort of thing. But I think it's fair to say you have to consider the source, because at the same time that he's hysterically telling me that I have to disavow Ali and I've got to cut him out, he is telling me the same thing about half a dozen other people, telling me that I have to disavow Laura Loomer because she's crazy and she's on drugs and she did this and she did that. And telling me to disavow Ethan Ralph and telling me to disavow Baked Alaska and telling me to disavow my own employees. And it goes on and on. And he's a notoriously dishonest person. He also happens to be the subject of the very same accusations. And I had a conversation with him last April where he told me, you have to disavow Ali. You want to be the guy that in 6 months said that I disavowed Ali when I heard rumors. And I said, Milo, I don't disavow people based on rumors. I said, you don't like Ali. You have a personal beef with him. I said, so there's a conflict of interest. And I've heard the same thing about you. People have made up the same allegations against you.
Repression. Thank you for the
neither
super chat.
personally confirm what happened with Ali, nor can I personally confirm what happened with you, then it's only fair that if I have to disavow Ali, then I got to disavow you. Or if I keep talking to you because you proclaim your innocence as Ali does, and I've not seen the evidence, then I'm not going to go after anybody. Now, at this time, during this conversation, he had evidence that he concealed. I'm talking about specifically
what I think of Nick Fuentes or HG Tudor.
Certainly, I would have felt differently if I had known about it. Because I know.
If you're asking what I think about HG Tudor, I think HG Tudor is awesome. I think he's extremely smart and very insightful about psychology, and I've learned so much from him about narcissism. And that's why I want him to analyze Nick Fuentes. He does Meghan Markle like every effing day. And I know he does it because he gets views from it. Like, whatever, makes sense. Good business decision, I guess. But I want him to review Nick Fuentes. He released HG Tudor. I was actually thinking about doing a stream about this tonight. Maybe we'll even watch this. HG Tudor released videos about Trump versus DeSantis. So he's paying attention to U.S. politics. And I want to know what he thinks. Really badly. Really, really badly.
Smiley, he's a friend of mine. Smiley was also underage. And so that was a story that was known to Smiley and Milo, and both of them, for whatever reason, concealed it from me. Smiley confirmed this, and he said that he concealed it out of shame and embarrassment. And he said that he had never told me, and I never knew. And Milo, too, confirmed that he had never told me. He said, oh, I don't remember. Well, I can't find the text message. He never told me. Why did Milo conceal that despite trying to get me to disavow based on rumors? I don't know. Was that the play all along? Perhaps, although that would be pretty clever, but I don't know. So in any case, so that's the situation there. There's a new story that has surfaced in the last few days about Lance Videos, where Lance Videos is claiming that I urged him to lie about some screenshot where Ali is asking him for nude photographs. That is just categorically false, fabricated, made up. Lance Videos called me, and I told the story on my Twitter space on Saturday or Friday. He called me up in December. I think it was the day after the Alex Jones Kanye interview. And he called me up asking, because Milo and Ali were going at it then too, fighting it out in the group chats. And I said the same thing then that I say now. They were fighting out in a group chat with Ye, and me and Milo talked about it on the private jet with Ye. And so Lance Videos called me to ascertain who was working with Ye, if it was Milo or if it was Ali. And my understanding was that if it was Milo, he was going to use this picture to take down Ali so that Milo could get him a job. But if it was Ali, then he was going to not post the picture so that Ali could get him a job. None of this was discussed on the phone call with me. He called me and asked me about the interview. He asked me for a job on the Ye campaign. I told him no. He told me he was working at Hobby Lobby. He told me that he's a loser and his life is over. He said that his girlfriend broke up with him and he got banned from TikTok and he's got nothing going on and he's depressed and all this. And I said, yeah, that's too bad. That's a phone call. There's no evidence to the contrary. You know, it's a pretty big allegation, but he has no text message, no screenshot, no nothing. Also, no job. So go figure. He apparently made a deal to bury a story in exchange for a job, which never happened, curiously, even though I had the power to do that. I brought out my assistant to meet Ye. I brought out...
Hang on. I got a super chat. Thank you, Arya. Milo is actually highly toxic and vindictive against everyone in his social orbit. Hanging out with him is basically masochism. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? I don't understand what's so appealing. Okay, like, I actually think Milo's really smart. He is extremely smart. I would also like to see HG Tudor analyze Milo Yiannopoulos, but I'm much more interested in him analyzing Nick Fuentes because, like, Milo Yiannopoulos is so obviously a narcissist that it's, like, not even worth, like, asking the question. But no, I agree with you. Milo is completely toxic. He is 1000% toxic. It is an awful idea. But it's like when you see him in person, he has kind of like this aura about him. So I can understand why people get drawn into him, but it's a really bad idea. As with any narcissist, it is a really bad idea. Even if you really like them, even if they say wonderful things, even if they give you stuff and promise you the world, it is a bad idea that will always backfire.
Daniel Schmidt to meet Ye. I brought forward a few people who would be potentially working on the 2024 campaign. So if some kind of deal was struck, why did nothing ever get carried out? And why is there no evidence? Categorically false and made up. So that's the new thing. As far as Ali is concerned, clearly there's something going on here. Milo has said that he has evidence. And this is what I will say about Ali. The actions with Smiley and Lance, I disavow completely. It's disgusting. I'm Catholic. We are not in support of homosexuality. We are not in support of fornication. We are not in support of pornography. We are certainly not in support of pederasty of any sort. Unequivocally disavow anything of that nature, obviously. And if you watch the show, by the way, you know that. I go live on the show every night and talk about this stuff in stronger terms than anybody else. You watch Tucker Carlson and he says that he's pro-homosexual but anti-trans. You watch Alex Jones and he says he's anti-trans.
Nick Fuentes is anti-everyone. Problem solved.
A lot of these people give a full-throated defense of pornography. This is the only show that is fully socially conservative. It's the only movement that is that way, by the way. So it almost goes without saying, but I'll say it. Obviously, we disavow that. Obviously, I disavow that. If there is more evidence, it's a very serious matter. And I would ask the question, why was it concealed for over a year? This is evidence that Milo and the accuser both admit was not shared with me or anybody for that matter.
You're not actually the most important person in this problem.
It happened to Smiley,
Nick,
6 years ago. The appropriate thing to do when you have a story like this is, if necessary, to report it to law enforcement. The next thing to do is to, if the person's comfortable, or if that's the way they want to go to the press or tell the relevant parties. Neither of which happened. Why?
Because they were saving it.
So the other dimension is they're insinuating that there was some kind of cover-up. Well, you've got 2 accusations of misconduct. There's other accusations that Ali was in gay relationships. You know, gay relationships are unsavory and gross, but they're not, it doesn't necessarily constitute misconduct or anything illegal. Is it immoral? Is it gravely sinful? Of course. But the stories we have, which are illegal and
Good night,
misconduct,
Sin.
are Lance and Aiden. These are 2 people that have sat on these stories for a long time, and you could extend a little bit of leeway and say, well, as
That
victims,
will be funny, won't it?
well, they don't want to.
I agree.
They have their reasons.
Please
for
let
maybe
that go
not
to trial.
coming forward. But if they've reported that to an adult, and if Milo has known about it, if he knew about the Lance story since at least December, why did he sit on it for 4 months? If he knew about the Smiley story for 14 months, why did he sit on it for that long? He said in April of last year, once again, without sharing with me or anybody, that he had additional accusers on video. Where is that? Why has that not been published? Why has that not been brought to law enforcement? And I said this on Friday, and I said this on Thursday, and I said this on Wednesday. Since this entire story came forward, I've been consistent in saying that it's unacceptable. And I've also been consistent in demanding that all the evidence be brought forward. Instead, what you have is this social media game. Well, we got another drop prepared. It's not an NFT. It's not a promotion. If this is a serious matter, which it is, then you need to bring that evidence to law enforcement, and you need to make that information public. And that's what I'll say about that. This person sitting on accusers for over a year and insinuating that I'm involved in some cover-up. You're the one sitting on the evidence to this day and saying, well, I'll release it when I want, and release it, publish it. We need to see full disclosure what has been going on. It needs to happen at this point. It should have happened a long time ago. And it should go to the appropriate authorities, not being used to prop up a Twitter account or a Telegram channel or something like that. That goes without saying also. So that's the Ali matter. And it's, I'll say this too, and this is kind of getting into the other aspect.
You haven't said anything yet, Nick.
Milo is somebody that I worked with for years.
I want to hear tea on Marjorie.
Many of the people that are now accusing me of covering this up, I've worked with and known for years. Marjorie Greene went to my conference. She has been sympathetic for a long time. Milo is her right-hand man, and there are many text conversations where Milo is talking about how she watches my show and she watches my videos and she gets a big kick out of me. She thinks I'm a rascal. So all these people who are now accusing me of being the kind of person that's involved in some kind of cover-up, one, they all worked with Ali. Milo had a professional relationship with Ali for years. Jaden worked with me and with Ali. Lance Videos worked with Ali, never worked with me. And the list goes on and on. And so the question is, you're affiliated with me for a long time. If I'm the kind of person that's covering this kind of stuff up,
2 days old.
Then why is it only after you have a public falling out with me that suddenly now you realize this is what I'm capable of? That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Aside from the fact that the evidence not only doesn't point to me, but points in the opposite direction, everybody who now points the finger at me was associated with me until there was some personal falling out. And there was no, for example, when Jaden fell out with this movement a year ago, nothing of this sort was ever discussed until this week. And now, now he always knew. And, oh, really? And same thing with Milo. I've known Milo.
This is one massive half-hour-long deflection. I want to hear you talk about Marjorie, Nick. You have Marjorie in your video title. I don't want to hear about why are people only talking about Ali now? Why now? Why now? He's totally trying to deflect from the fact that he absolutely knew what was going on. He even said so earlier. Nick Fuentes said earlier that everyone in this little political sphere knows the deal. Everyone knows what everyone else is doing. I'm not even really that connected to these people. I never have been. And even I know what they're doing. Why? Because everyone gossips like women in a knitting circle. Everyone knows what everyone else is doing. It is just the way it goes. And so for Nick Fuentes to honestly sit here and deflect for half an hour, I didn't know. I didn't know. Why is this coming up now? Why now? Why now? I didn't know. How could I have known? I didn't know. You are so full of shit, Nick. It is unbelievable. Stop deflecting and say something of substance, please.
Milo for 3 years talking about cover up and you cover for pedos and all this. It's not until we have a personal falling out over some credit card receipt, that now suddenly it's a big issue. What's more, Ali has a deeper professional relationship with just about every other person other than me. And Ali even said as much today. It's true that Ali avoided me in many ways for years because of my reputation. We collaborated briefly in Stop the Steal in 2020, where I wasn't even allowed to appear on his stage. They had a stage set up at Million MAGA March. You didn't see me on that stage, but Marjorie Taylor Greene was there. Ali had a stage at Atlanta Stop the Steal. They wouldn't let me speak on there either. They paid for security through the Oath Keepers. Thank God I actually dodged a bullet. I have it on video. The security hired by Ali put his hand on my shoulder and said, "We specifically will not protect you because of who you are."
Huh.
So, once
Good night,
again,
Crystal.
something that is being totally spun out of nothing, especially considering that many of the people
None
involved
yet.
in this
I'm gonna
equation
admit, I'm actually a little disappointed in the Groypers right now. They might be distracted because I think Nick Fuentes was live at one point. I don't know if he's still live now, but I'm actually really disappointed in the Groypers. Usually we can rely on the Groypers to show up. We can rely on the Groypers to try to take over the chat and create general insanity. And they're just not showing up tonight. Maybe is it because it's like a Wednesday night, Thursday morning sort of thing? Are they in bed? Did they go to bed early? Like, where the hell are the Groypers? I feel like someone has dropped the ball.
had a professional working relationship with Ali. So that's also relevant information too. So that's what I have to say about the Ali misconduct. It goes without saying we're against that, but I do say it, and I said it on Wednesday, and I've said it every day since. I've never said anything other than it's gross, and we're absolutely against that behavior, and it's unacceptable. And we also demand all the evidence come to light. I believe I'm the only one saying that. Some people are sitting on evidence. I'm the one saying you have to release all of it. As far as the other aspect of it goes, this entire situation is something that is being spun up to attack me. Let's not forget that 2 weeks ago, Marjorie Greene on Good Friday was accusing me of being a federal informant and a weirdo. Federal informant and a weirdo. And 5 months before that, she's accusing me of being an anti-Semite and being immature.
True.
And so what you have in this instance, because Marjorie
Taylor Greene has accused Nick Fuentes of being a Fed, a weirdo, an anti-Semite, and something else that I forget. I'm pretty sure that all those things are true. I feel like Marjorie actually got a couple things right there. Broken clock is right twice a day. Credit where credit is due.
Tweeted about it today is clearly somebody who has a problem with me. Somebody who is not arguing in good faith. This is the program. When I was appearing with Ye on InfoWars and we're talking about how we love Hitler, well, she takes to the show to say, well, he's an anti-Semite and he's a terrorist.
Nick Fuentes literally just said, when we were on the show saying we love Hitler, Marjorie Taylor Greene had the nerve to say we were being anti-Semitic. Does Nick Fuentes even listen to himself? Remember that time when I'm doing Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I'll rewind. We'll play that part again. That's for the best, so I don't have to say that again. Okay, so what's about to happen is Nick Fuentes is about to say something to the effect of, that time that we went on Alex Jones and said the time that Kanye West and I went on Alex Jones and said we love Hitler, Marjorie Taylor Greene had the nerve to call me an anti-Semite. It's not funny. It's not funny because it's really anti-Semitic, but it is funny in that Nick Fuentes does not have the self-awareness to realize what just came out of his mouth. Let's watch. Rewind.
And so what you have in this instance, because Marjorie tweeted about it today, is clearly somebody who has a problem with me. Somebody who is not arguing in good faith. This is the program. When I was appearing with Ye on InfoWars and we're talking about how we love Hitler, well, she takes to the show to say, well, he's an anti-Semite and he's...
Yes, Nick. Yes. When you go on InfoWars with Kanye West and talk about how you guys think Hitler is just great, then some people are going to think for 3 hours long, Nick, that was a really long show. Then maybe some people will be inclined to think that you don't like the Jews so much, Nick. Also, the fact that you guys call everyone you don't like a Jew, that might be another indication of... I'm sorry, it's like, it's not funny, but it is. Because there's just no... it's not computing at all. That episode was amazing. I was thinking about that episode the other day. It was the most incredible... Did anyone else watch that episode of InfoWars Live? I never watch InfoWars, but I started watching that episode about half an hour into it because everyone was talking about it. I was like, what the hell's going on? Once you turned on that episode of InfoWars, you couldn't look away. It wasn't possible. I even watched it again on my channel later that night. You could not look away. It's like, what's he gonna say next? What's he gonna... oh God, Hitler again, no! It was amazing.
He's a terrible person. Okay. And then when Max Blumenthal, who is the son of a Clinton operative named Sidney Blumenthal, when he publishes a report on his website attacking me for being put on the no-fly list...
Hang on, I got a super chat from Jay Hundo. Thank you, Jay. The lib left you got SJW, who is all about Days of Our Lives blog, so it's not as nuts as you think. He's using intuition, a rationality out with zero awareness, whereas the opposite is reversed. All right. Thank you, Jay Hundo. I appreciate it.
Then Laura Loomer puts out a tweet, or I'm sorry, Marjorie Greene puts out a tweet attacking Laura Loomer and accusing me of being a federal informant, because that was the hot thing at the time. Being a federal informant for what? Not being charged? Only having my money frozen? Only being put on a federal no-fly list? Only being investigated by the FBI for 2 years? So then it was that. And then now today, with Ali going down because of revelations that have been made about him, which are totally unrelated to me. Oh, well, now she says, well, Nick knew and Nick covered this up and so on. So which is it? So 1 week I'm a federal informant. The next week it's this. The week before you're an anti-Semite. And look at everybody else that's now eating this up. It's the same story with Milo. 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, when Milo had nothing, he was saying that I'm a fake Catholic and saying that I don't have any original ideas, and leaking text messages saying that I'm a bad friend because I made fun of Laura Loomer in a private text message. And then it was, oh, and I just realized he's also a pedo enabler. Okay. But then you have this cast of other characters like Jaden McNeil, who I've known for a long time, or had known. And Jaden knew about the Lance screenshot, long before I did. Jaden and Lance were friends for years before I met either of them, and he knew about the screenshot when it happened. Where was Jaden McNeil when the screenshot was revealed? You could say that Lance didn't come forward because he's the victim. He's the traumatic victim of flirting. In the case of Jaden, he knew about the screenshot before I did. And he was friends with Lance before I was. And he knew Ali before I knew Ali. So what's his culpability in the mix? Now he wants to point the finger at me and say, well, Nick knew and I knew that Nick knew. Really? So if you knew about it, and if allegedly you knew that I knew about it, and you split with me a year ago, you're coming forward now? I would also ask the question, Jaden's number one donor is a guy named Victor Sharp, who is himself a gay pedophile, refuses to acknowledge that. Again, so it's about this?
I don't know who that is.
And I would also tie that back to Marjorie Greene. Marjorie Greene has so much to say about me, and she has a lot to say about Ali, but she's best friends with Milo. So if this is about predation, if this is about abuse and all of this, then how can you, on the one hand, republish an article from the Daily Beast, which is a hardcore left-wing Antifa publication attacking Ali and me? It's about predation, though. But at the same time, you're best friends with and paying $30,000 a month to Milo, who, if you remember, got canceled 6 years ago for saying that pedophilia is okay, for saying that it's actually a good thing. And the point is to say that none of this is really adding up. None of the story about Ali adds up, the accusations.
Wait, are you now saying it's
And
false?
on the
What are you talking
contrary,
about?
nothing that is being said about my conduct or my responsibility or any kind of moral standard adds up either. If that's what it's really about, Marjorie, then you wouldn't be putting up Milo and his gay husband in your campaign house. The guy's a pedophile himself. So if you have some big problem, if that's what this is really about, which it isn't, then you wouldn't pay him $100,000 to ghostwrite your book. And if it was such a problem for Judas and for all the other ex-America First people and associated acts, they wouldn't be taking money hand over fist from Victor Sharp, himself a gay pedophile. So across the board, you realize that it's got nothing to do with conduct. It's got nothing to do with he said, she said, or even for that
Yes,
matter.
Nick, it is just about revenge.
It is.
We all know that this is just about revenge because we all know that Milo is a petty bitch who will carry things around in his back pocket until for years if he has to do it to get back at someone. We all know that. But that doesn't mean that you didn't know. What Nick Fuentes has done is he's like, why is it coming out even now? Why are we even worried about it? I don't know why we're even talking about it. Oh, isn't it even true? Marjorie Taylor Greene and Milo are like this. They're probably made it up. Why are we even talking about this? Marjorie's attacking me again. Meh, meh, meh. It's like, bro, you are in complete and total deflection mode.
Political, like everything else. It is one thing after another. And every single time something like this comes out and somebody can rush to Twitter and say, oh, look, I think I got something. And they say, finally.
That's exactly right.
We have the thing.
He's trying to make us give up via boredom.
Stop listening.
This is exactly correct. But you know what? We train for this. We watch woke trainings every single week on Friday. We watch socialist trainings every single week on Saturday. We train for sitting through hours of boring at a time, Nick. You're not going to bore us into stop watching. I have knitting. I can't go all night because I'm going to fall asleep at some point, but I can go for at least another hour. These are the moments that we prepared for. I sat through an entire day-long socialist conference in person and was able to maintain my sanity and take notes. And these are the moments that we prepare for. Arya says, in fact, he's saying he did know. Indeed, he kind of is, Arya, isn't it? He is saying he kind of did know, which we all know you knew, Nick. Come on. Naruto, I just saw the Florida Department of Education vote to expand the Parental Rights Act through the 12th grade. That's going to cause some backlash. I don't know that that's we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I need to go read Florida's Parental Rights Act to actually know what's in it specifically, to decide whether or not I agree with it being expanded through the 12th grade.
To Nick Fuentes. Finally, we have the thing that's going to damage his reputation the most. And like I said, for 6 years, it's one thing after another. If they can't impugn my character with my political statements, they impugn my character with my purported sexuality. If they can't impugn my character with that, they impugn my character with my professional conduct. And they say, oh, well, you're a bad boss or whatever. If they can't take out my reputation
I am
with
a
that, then
victim.
they
Everyone
insinuate
hates
that I'm
me.
a
I am
federal
a victim.
informant.
Everyone
If
hates
they-
me.
if
I
that
am
doesn't
the
work,
most victimized
then they go
person in the
all the way
history
and
of
say,
the
oh, well,
world.
well, you covered up for this guy. You covered up for this guy that you worked with on a couple of things, covered up for evidence that there's evidence you knew nothing about. And it's very tiresome and it's very frustrating. And that's half the battle, because that whole process is by design. If I spend my entire life debunking everything like this that happens, which is necessary, what are you going to do? Not defend yourself when something like this is put out there? If I have to spend all my time defending myself on every layer like this, then I never have time to put across my ideas. Which is why I'm being attacked in the first place. So go figure. I get attacked for saying what I say, and the attacks accumulate so much to the extent that I can't say what I need to say anymore, because all I am consumed with is answering ridiculous, refutable allegation one after the next. And you see it. Every interview I go on with a mainstream person, they've got it before they can even get to a legitimate question. They've got to get through every single. So in 2017, you said this. So in 2017, you said that. So in 2019, you said this. Are you a racist? Are you a white supremacist?
Yes.
Are you a Holocaust denier?
Yes.
What about Catboy Camby? What about federal informant? What about Cozy? What about, and here's the best part, when each successive thing is debunked with legalistic precision, do any of the people that accuse come back around and say, oh, sorry, we got that one wrong?
See, that's
we
true enough. They never say when they get it wrong. That's true enough. Nick is correct about that.
Example. Last year, almost exactly a year ago, what was the big scandal? Oh, Nick faked his viewership on Cozy. Okay. Well, a month ago, I go on Rumble, and I turn on my first exclusive Rumble stream, and I get 6,000 viewers. So what's rigged on Cozy and Rumble? I go on Twitter with 10 minutes notice and pull 3,300 viewers.
I will say, I don't think Nick is rigging this. I think that Nick Fuentes has a group, excuse me. I think Nick Fuentes has a group of young men who are absolutely obsessed with everything that Nick Fuentes says and does. I believe his numbers are absolutely real.
So it's fake on Twitter also? Does anybody come back around and say, even back then, in, I think, June last year, there were left-wing journalists coming forward and saying, well, there's no proof. Like, it's hard to believe, and it's probably legit. Does anybody come back around and say, oh, guess we were wrong, or is it just on to the next one? Same thing with recently. Max Blumenthal's hit piece about me saying, well, you were on the no-fly list because of a joke, which I think it's a pretty appropriate response to say, well, of course the federal government's going to give a pretext for putting somebody on the no-fly list. They're not going to say, we're putting you on the no-fly list because we're politically persecuting you. Is there a rebuttal ever? Is there a rebuttal to any of the refutation of that? Never. On to the next. So, this is the game.
Nick Fuentes is definitely a cult leader. 100% a cult leader.
In every case, there's there are legitimate points to be made with regard to, as far as racism or anti-Semitism or whatever, there is a real legitimate point in there, which is to say that I've talked about repeatedly on the show that we are not haters of groups of people. I put this on my Telegram the other day. There was one of these BAP associated Twitter accounts, Bronze Age pervert associated Twitter accounts, who goes out and says that the legacy of overturning Roe versus Wade is that more black babies are going to be born because they're not being killed in their womb. And he goes, is that a good thing? Are Catholics happy about what they've done? That's like what real racial hatred looks like. And there's a point to be made about that, but you never get to that. And the same goes for every other.
Nick Fuentes is like, I don't hate black people and Jews. I just don't think we should live around them. That's basically what he's going to say and is kind of already saying.
Their situation, like with January 6th, there was a Fed element at January 6th. There were at least 50, which we can find in the unindicted co-conspirators. There were absolutely people there that were there to instigate, that were there to incite violence, and probably there to give the Department of Justice a pretext to crack down. And the same goes for this. There is a legitimate deal here. There is absolutely a gay culture in the conservative movement.
Yes.
And this stuff goes on all the time.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Ali is the tip of the iceberg.
Thank you. Yes.
Milo's a pedophile. You got Ryan Gerdusky.
This is
Now,
the
I don't know if that guy's
right
a
here.
pedophile, but Ryan Gerdusky's flirted with everybody I know. Ryan Gerdusky's going to go on that Twitter space the other day like he didn't ask me to climb into bed with him. I remember when I was a teenager, Ryan Gerdusky called me up and said, you should come to New York sometime. You could stay at my place. You could even stay in my room. You could even stay in my bed. This is the kind of stuff. Ryan Gerdusky told Jaden, you should be a model if you don't want to be in politics. Everybody in the conservative movement knows there's a significant gay element.
Yes,
and everybody knows
true.
in the conservative movement that it's that kind of dynamic. It's only in America first where that doesn't exist.
Because you all repress yourselves.
And people want to talk about Ali. Ali has never been to an AFPAC, and all the allegations coming against Ali happened before I even did my show. They happened at Milo's events. They happened at Turning Point. They happened at literally every institution other than this one. And ironically, this is the one that's being blamed. And it's being blamed because I am a convenient scapegoat because I have no allies.
Because you're obviously gay.
I'm the one that's taking on the entire system by myself.
Obviously gay, Nick.
And a lot of people say that, and a lot of people like to claim they're going against the whole system. But for me, obviously, it's true. Look at the other people claiming to take on the system. Is there one that is even remotely close to me being the standard of right-wing politics? Take a look at Tim Pool. I don't hate Tim Pool, but take a look at what he says on the show. Or what they had at their Minds Festival this weekend, where Alex Jones is going up there and talking about how there should be euthanasia and people should be able to be put on a transgender surgery without a waiting period. Seriously? Or Tucker, which we've been over, or Marjorie making a deal with Kevin McCarthy, or Matt Walsh, who made a deal with Ben Shapiro not to talk about the Jewish lobby when he was talking about it 10 years ago, or Doyle, who made the trade to go at Blaze, even though he wants violence, like he's more extreme in the sense that he wants violence in the streets.
Seriously?
But he goes to Blaze and tells the executives he loves Israel. So, of course, I'm the convenient scapegoat that everybody can attack, but it's for that reason that I'm also the only one that's innocent. Lance Videos was at Turning Point, where they cover for pedophiles all the time. And that kind of thing, sexual assault and sexting and that sort of thing goes on all the time at Turning Point. And who were the ones that fought Turning Point? Me and the Groypers. And it went on over there. And that's where the Ali Lance thing came from. And Lance Videos still has nothing to say about Turning Point, and he never wanted to go against him until after they fired him. And now somehow I get blamed for it. Really? So, then it's the same story across the board. You know, Smiley got involved with all that stuff years ago. I had a chance to interview him since everything came out. And he was involved in that whole alt-right scene. All these Trumps, a lot of gay Trump supporters back in 2017, 2016. Again, totally different universe from America First. But once again, somehow, me not even being around at the time, not being associated, not knowing about it, certainly not condoning it. Somehow I'm to blame. Not to mention that there are far more people that are more involved with Ali than me. Somehow it's my it's not Cernovich's problem. It's not Alex
Cernovich
Jones'
denounced
problem.
him, bro.
It's not Milo's problem. You know, somehow this is all, you know. And you know why that is. You know why the finger's pointed at me.
Because you are the
I'm
poor
target.
victim of the
I'm
world,
enemy.
Nick. You are the poor victim of the
So,
world.
Like I said, it's not a. If you want to talk about what it is, of course, you know, it's gross. And I've said that over the last week. But as far as why I'm even in the conversation, it's political. So, and Marjorie Greene, what a disgusting human being. Every person involved, I mean, I know it goes without saying, but it's just wrong. It's wrong. Lance knows that he's lying. And he thinks this is a play to get a little attention. And congratulations, it worked. You got your attention.
So
He knows
badly.
he made that up.
So badly.
Him and I, because we're the ones that were on that call. He knows that he's lying.
This is
and I hope he's happy.
Nick, how do you know so many gay conservatives, Nick? How, if you just had you had heard these rumors about Ali for years, didn't put any stock in them, didn't want to do it, didn't want to. Nick, you just made a very big deal about not accusing Ali Alexander of asking underage boys for dick pics without evidence. And you know what, Nick? It was really, really wise of you to not, you know, throw your friend under the bus without evidence that he did indeed ask many underage boys for dick pics. Okay, fair. But if it's so important that you have evidence when you make an accusation, then how are you saying that you know for a fact that there are a lot of gay conservatives? How would you know that, Nick? Emphatically. What evidence would you have that there are a lot of gay conservatives? I'm just saying.
With all that. But it's wrong. And there's no, you know, nobody's going to stick up for me on that side of things because I've gone out there and done this show for the last 6 years. So why would anybody? You know, it's very convenient for me to be put up as a sacrificial lamb for everybody else's problems. But it's worth it to say that it's wrong. So in any case, that's what's going on with this Ali situation. It's totally bizarre, too, that Marjorie would allow her Twitter to be instrumentalized like that. She's going to get down in the mud with me.
I agree with that. Nick is correct about that.
And it just goes to show who's pulling the strings over there.
Milo.
To be honest. Does that really make sense from an objective point of view?
No, it doesn't.
To try to get herself involved in all this? Of course not, because she's just as implicated as anybody. She knew Ali during Stop the Steal, and in fact, she perjured herself. She lied under oath during her hearing.
Really?
They had a big hearing about whether or not she'd even be eligible to run in 2022. And she lied under oath and said she didn't know Ali. That's perjury. She shouldn't even be eligible to run. So, I mean,
Nick is not lying about that. Marjorie Taylor Greene absolutely knew Ali Alexander. 100% knew Ali Alexander. If Marjorie Taylor Greene really said under oath that she didn't know Ali Alexander, that was indeed absolutely 100% a lie. Jay Hundo, thank you for the super chat. Every Christian song is about Jesus is my boyfriend. I think the label of conservative is wrong, but I think that's what he means. You might be right about that, Jay. I'm not so sure about it, but you might be right. So guys, I have the Groiper chat up on the screen right now over on Cozy, that live chat that's like always going. And apparently it's Hitler's birthday, and they're all wishing Hitler a happy birthday in Nick Fuentes' live chat right now. I'm not going to show it on the screen, but that's what they're doing. So that's why the Groipers haven't made their way over here. They're otherwise occupied thinking about how much they like Hitler. But Nick Fuentes definitely isn't anti-Semitic. Definitely not. Absolutely not.
objectively, and her knowing that, it doesn't even make sense for her to get engaged with that. But it just goes to show that that's who's running the show over there. So you got a gay pedophile running the show at the Marjorie Greene campaign. Go figure.
They're watching us. Hang on.
Anyway, that's
hang on. They're talking about me in the chat. Hi, Groipers. Hi. Where the fuck are you guys? We thought you guys were going to show up at least an hour ago. Where are you? Are you guys just being lazy tonight? They're watching us and talking about me right now. I already see my name in the chat. Yes, you assholes are being watched. You absolutely are. You 100% are. Where are you? Come over to the chat and show yourselves. See, now we know they know. I told you, these people are like always paying attention. Now we know that they know that we're streaming. And so if they don't come over to the chat, they are just being, oh, they put the YouTube channel link in the chat. Come on, Groipers. Show us who you really are in the chat, Groipers. Here they are. Oh, I know that's Illustration Station. Don't do that. Okay, guys, when the Groipers come in the chat, don't shitpost, because if you shitpost and I don't know who you are, you might get blocked, okay? So when the Groipers make their way over here and they start doing things that Groipers do, don't shitpost if you don't want to get blocked. I'm just telling you right now, okay? I don't want to block anyone wrongly. Oh, they're saying it's subscriber only mode, you dumb whore. Oh, I know it is subscriber only mode, isn't it? Whatever will you guys have to do? You'll have to subscribe and then sit your asses down and wait to be able to brigade my chat. I know. I'm such a stupid bitch. This is what they're calling me in the chat right now. I am such a stupid bitch. Oh my word. Let's keep going. We'll look forward to your arrival in about 5 minutes, Groipers.
situation. And, I'll see what you guys have to say about it in the super chats and in the live chat. But I'm innocent. I've done nothing. I've literally done nothing wrong. What exactly have I done wrong other
They're
than
here. I see the numbers going up.
nothing? Things were concealed from me for years. I heard about them. I disavowed immediately.
Well, broken clock is right twice a day, right, Chris?
Somehow I'm being implicated. So, anyway,
Groipers
so we'll see
are
what
his
happens.
fans.
And like I said, I would urge Milo or whoever else to come forward with all.
Oh, now they're saying ratio this bitch. Please do it,
because
please.
It needs to be seen.
Please,
and what I've seen so far is gross.
Please, you fucking cucks. I'm talking to the Groipers that are over in Nick Fuentes' chat right now. Please come and ratio me. Please, Groipers. You repressed sons of bitches. Remember, no shit posting once the Groipers started. You might get blocked if I don't recognize you.
And it's not good. It's heinous. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'll probably save the Charlottesville story for tomorrow because that's a whole other deal. So I'll probably save this for tomorrow. I'll get into our super chats. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. But I appreciate everybody
Oh
standing by me. I
no,
appreciate
he's already
everybody
going to
having my
super
back.
chats. We might not even
Isabel
get to
O'Reilly,
be
Elijah
here, so the
Schaefer,
Gripers can attack
Laura
us.
Loomer calling in the other day. I appreciate Jackson Hinkle putting something out there. So, I mean, look, people know me. People vouch for me. People know my stance on these things. It's just, as always,
Ooh, the
political
Gripers are
adversaries
coming.
who
The
are completely
Gripers are
shameless, who will
coming.
do or say anything to drag my name through the mud, as always. So, and you can't even complain about it. And you have to defend yourself, but not too much. I got somebody texting me saying, of course, stop talking about yourself. You're being defensive. I'm being attacked. So it's just,
you're being a
I'm
little
not cut out for
victim,
the
Nick.
public relations game. I'm
You're
in for the
being
real
a
human
poor,
being
pathetic
game. Okay?
victim.
Okay, bud. I'm in the real human being. People go, you got to manicure the perfect response. You got to manicure the perfect public relations. Fuck you. Not you in particular who's texting me, but that attitude, maybe I'm, young and naive and idealistic, but I just hate that whole approach. If I wanted to get into this to be playing public relations, I wouldn't be go out there saying that I didn't get to rape anybody and, this kind of thing. I made the joke on Friday. I said, I'm being me too. And I didn't even.
Andy over in Nick Fuentes' Groiper chat is saying, her whole stream is Groipers now. I wish the whole stream was Groipers, except you morons are apparently too lazy to sit your ass down and wait for 5 minutes before you get into my chat. So sadly, there hasn't been a single Groiper in my chat yet. Oh, they just doxed my address. Oh, that's nice of them. My address is already on the internet, assholes. So it's okay. Like, I'm not afraid of you. We have guns in the house. So I have yet to see a single Groiper in the chat, though, because they're all too fucking lazy to actually do what's required to come and really ratio my chat from their mom's basement. Half Orc Fighter says, this is the best payday sushi entertainment ever. Can't wait for those idiots to show up. I don't know if they are going to show up. I think that we might not even have a chance. We interact with any Groipers tonight because they're just like, I don't even know what they're doing, jerking each other off over there. I don't know. We've been on the air for over 2 hours. Where the fuck are they? Like, they could have been over here a while ago. Jen says, Nick Fuentes reminds me of an even creepier version of Tom Cruise. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Ain't it the truth? Well, I do have one, Chris. The problem is I was doxxed by the white identitarians and the Groipers a couple of years ago, and so they all have my address, so it is what it is, I guess. Like I said, we got plenty of guns in the house, man. We've got guns in the house. The police know what's up. Not afraid of you assholes. Still waiting, Groipers. It's been way more than 5 minutes now. Oh well, I guess we'll just wait some more and watch little Nicky in the meantime.
Get to rape anybody. You think if I'm like the public relations guy, I'd be going out there and saying shit like that. So I can't lie. I cannot lie. I cannot play games. I don't play. I tell the truth. I tell like it is. If it looks bad, I deal with it. So anyway, real human being. Now somebody else is texting me. So I put it all in God's hands. I speak from the heart.
Yes, Nick, you are full of Christ's love.
Work itself out. That's my approach. I know people tear their hair out when they hear that. They're like, but you can't. You have to have a script. No, I'm good. I didn't get this far being on a script. It's so hard. My entire career, it's everybody trying to get me on a script and telling me, do this, do that, say this, say that. And my whole career is like, no, I will make a Hitler joke. No, I will make a rape joke. No.
I mean, it's an interesting hill to die on, I suppose.
So that's that. That's the scoop. Lance videos. What a little shit. What a little dirtbag. Okay, I'm in the middle of a stream right now. Come on now. Hang on.
Seriously? He stops to text people in the middle of a stream.
Okay.
My God.
Anyway, all right. So that's that. But I'll take a look at the super chats. We'll see. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna watch a couple of these super chats, Groypers.
I
But if you
appreciate
don't
all
get
the
your
support.
asses
I
over here
appreciate all my
soon, I'm going to
friends
bed.
sticking by me. That's what it's all about, you know? The power of friendship. Jewish foil. Also, Milo is, someone says text Hitler. Okay. Milo is Jewish also. Let's not forget that. Why is it that every one of my adversaries is Jewish? Have you ever noticed that? Milo was trying to control Ye24 and prevent it from being Hitler. Milo is now attacking me while being Jewish. Max Blumenthal is attacking me while being Jewish. Joel Pollack attacking me while Jewish. You know, it's not lost on me that there's a little bit of a pattern there.
Definitely not an anti-Semite, though.
Considering what the show's
Absolutely not. Nick Fuentes is absolutely not an
there you
anti-Semite. Are you fucking shitting me?
All right, but let's take a look at the super chats. We'll see what we got here.
He is really like Jesus, isn't he,
Gabe
Mark?
Hoffman,
Really
another
like
one.
Jesus.
Yeah, Gabe Hoffman attacking while Jewish. And he's offensively Jewish. I mean, the voice is noticeably and
Wow.
and offensively Jewish. So I'm an innocent
Oh, we got a
victim, to be honest
Groyper.
with you. I'm another
Oh, we got a
innocent
Groyper
victim.
that's defending Nick Fuentes from texting. Do you really think I want the attention from you assholes?
A victim of
I would rather have
relentless
less
attacks
viewers
by
and
the
none of
regime.
you. Thank you for showing yourself. Goodbye.
And
Look,
all I
there-
have
we
is
got
my
one,
voice.
guys.
I can't even
Yay.
go on Twitter and defend myself. All I have is my voice. Well, there you have it. There you have it.
Gotta give credit to Caden, though. He waited
Large
5
Marge.
minutes.
She got ratioed, though, anyway. She got ratioed, and I want to help the ratio along, okay? I'm going to put this on the live chat, and I want you to juice this up considerably, okay? Because we got Royal Gunt Guard ratioing Marjorie significantly. That's got to hurt. That's so funny to me that, like, Milo has this feud with me, and he's dragging Marjorie into it. He's literally dragging a congresswoman into it for backup because he can't take me on his own. So he's got to bring Marjorie in for backup, and he goes, I'm going to post a tweet from Marjorie's account. Now that's going to get him. And imagine the feeling that even still he gets ratioed by a Groyper named Royal Gunt Guard. Right? Marjorie Greene, with her 10 billion Twitter follower account, goes, Nick Fuentes knew, and the FBI should investigate him. Ratioed by Royal Gunt Guard. I have an army. We have a gunt. You'll never beat me. I have an army. We have a gunt. We have a Ralph. We have a Groyper. So anyway, so let me throw that in the live chat. And you guys got to juice this up, okay? You got to give it all your firepower, all right? Like, retweet, subscribe. All right, I'm going to post it. We already ratioed her, so mission accomplished, but we want to press the advantage, okay? All right, okay. But let's take a look at our super chats. We'll see what we got here. It's a shame, you know, because like in another
Happy 420
timeline,
Groypers.
we could have all been friends, but instead, everybody has to attack me for no reason. Why? Why, Marjorie? Why? Why, Doyle?
Because you are the poor victim of the world, Nick.
Didn't
You
have
are
to
the
be
poor
like this.
victim
I'll
of the
also say
world.
that there's something about
No
working
one is
with the
as
Daily
victimized
Beast,
as you.
Does that also just not even does that also not warrant a mention? People are literally going to work with the SPLC and the Daily Beast and Gabe Hoffman just to like try to hurt my career, hurt my feelings or something. Right? They're literally going to link up with the ADL and the SPLC arm in arm with the Daily Beast to try to get one over against me. I mean, that just shows you. Anyway, but we'll move on. We'll take a look at our super chats. Paul Town says Doyle is mad because he can't get it up. Yeah. What's going on with that? He can't maintain an erection?
That was some shit. I actually felt bad for John Doyle. Just a little bit. And you guys know I have no love loss for John Doyle. But essentially what happened was this in Nick Fuentes' Telegram? Groypers, did Nick Fuentes release the text message about John Doyle? Was that him or was that someone else? The Groypers will know. They'll be able to tell me in the chat. So basically someone, and I'm pretty sure it was Nick Fuentes, released a text message with John Doyle basically saying that he slept with Savannah Hernandez but couldn't get it up. Well, who was it then, Groypers, if it wasn't Fuentes? Anyway, I actually felt bad for John Doyle. I really did. Because I mean, good for John Doyle for getting Savannah Hernandez, honestly. Like I'll say that. Good for John Doyle. I would not have seen that coming at all. She is really hot. So, and I really thought John Doyle was a virgin. I did. Just like Nick Fuentes claims to be. But you got to feel bad for the guy when something like that gets released. That's awful. Why would you do that? Chris says, I wish you had been around in the 60s. You would have had fun analyzing Rand and Brandon. I hope you analyzed an Andrew Tate video. God, I watched an Andrew Tate video for the first time today. I had actually never seen that guy talk before, and he is such an asshole. I don't know if I actually, Chris, I find him to be more of an asshole than I find Nick Fuentes to be. I really don't know. Andrew Tate, watching a full Andrew Tate video might push my limits. It might just push me way too far. It would be worse for me than watching The Socialists. But thank you for the super chat, Chris. I do appreciate it. Oh, we are finally getting some Groypers. Oh, this is great. Only gotten a couple of them so far. I believe in you, Groypers. I believe in you.
Come on, brother. What's going on there? All right, but let's see. Let me open it up here. I'll take a look and I'll respond to some of this. A lot of it's
They're
tough
over there like,
I'm
God,
pissed.
it's
Like,
so
I'm just mad
bad.
about the whole situation. It's bullshit. I've been dealing with this my whole career. It never gets any easier, just getting lied about constantly. But whatever.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway.
That's a relatively tame entry.
Queen sent $3. MTG wants to beat you to CHR. Nationalism territory conquest. To beat her, proclaim to be a Christian nationalist. Often. Her ops/journos will not resist linking her to...
Hang on. Okay, so we have a Groyper asking a question. And this Groyper is saying, will I get banned? You will not get unilaterally banned just for being a Groyper. You will get banned if you break one of my 2 rules of the chat. The rules of the chat are, number 1, don't be a dick. Number 2, no whining. If you aren't a dick and you don't whine, then you're not going to get blocked. But if you are a dick and you do whine, then you will get blocked. That's it, man. We can all hang out and be friends. Oh, more of them are coming. Hi, Groypers. I knew you'd make it. So those are the rules of the chat, Groypers. You are welcome to stay and say whatever you want, but don't be a dick. That means don't insult me, don't insult other people in the chat, and no whining. That's it. You're welcome to stay. If you have stuff to add, if you want to comment on what Nick is saying and praise Nick and talk about how awesome Nick is, you are allowed to do that here. You're just not allowed to insult me or other people in the chat, and you're not allowed to whine. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be best friends and hang out on the weekend, but if you can be civil and exist in my chat and not insult people, then you're welcome to stay. There's no reason to be rude.
The band man. R.I.P. book.
I don't even like the Christian nationalist moniker. I like Christian futurist or just Christian or Catholic, better yet.
Plantation_Groyper sent $5.
Also, I'm not dealing with any of that Hitler shit, Groypers. That's going to get you banned as well because, and the reason for that is I will get blamed for what you do. Okay? So don't be a dick. No Hitler shit. And no whining. We're modifying the rules for tonight. You can do Hitler shit in your other chat, okay? Oh, see? Already breaking the rules, bro. No. Don't be a dick. It's not that hard. I know you waited 5 whole minutes to spam my chat, but come on, rein it in just a little bit. Just chill out, guys. It's like it's 1:30 in the morning. Please chill.
We have to be careful to not awaken a great enemy in Ali. A man who controls time controls the world.
Not really the time, all right? We gotta use time travel to go back in time to make that joke, because this is not the appropriate time to laugh.
Chugger sent $5. It seems the PSYOP has already lost. Marjorie Taylor Gorilla's tweet got absolutely destroyed, and so many bystanders are taking your side. Perhaps her political career will be cut short?
Well, she's made an enemy out of me, that's for sure.
Pretty_fly_white_guy sent $3. 172, and JFG4L. I'm praying for you, friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Peter Scully Groiper sent $3. The worst part of Marge tweeting negatively about you is the libtards.
Groipers, on a scale of like straight to gay, where does Nick fall on that scale? Like if 1 is straight and 10 is gay, where, like, let's just be honest. You guys all have aliases anyway. You're not doing it under your real name. Can we just have an honest conversation? How gay is he? 1 being straight, 10 being gay. You can give an honest answer. I won't tell anyone. I promise.
Smugly posting the picture of you next to that ogre.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think it's so bad. It's just funny because it's true. It's like, you know, all these people want to attack me conveniently after the falling out. It's like nobody ever has a problem when they're benefiting from our relationship. And then the second that they're not, oh, then I'm the worst guy ever. Even Marjorie, when she goes before my screaming crowd of 1,200 plus of young people, she never gets.
Okay, so we have some nice groipers in the chat right now, and they're rating it in, and I appreciate that, guys. It's great. But can we just? Do you guys really think? I'm honestly asking. I really am, and groipers in Nick's chat can answer as well. Do you guys really think that Nick is straight? Like in real life? I mean, this has got to be some sort of LARP. Like, I truly mean that. You guys can't think that Nick is like in real life, you think that he's straight. I understand you guys have this whole image of like, you're like, no homosexuality, it's a sin. Like, you do this whole kind of like thing, but you guys really don't think he's straight, right? Wow. I mean, we're all allowed to have our perspectives, I guess. You're allowed to think that Nick is straight. I don't understand. Can you what is your criteria for assessing that Nick is straight? See, here's an answer I really respect. I don't care. You know what? Yeah, that's actually the correct answer. Absolutely. I mean, do you have any proof that he's straight? Has Nick ever had a girlfriend? Has Nick ever kissed a girl? Has Nick ever held a girl's hand? I'm honestly asking. I'm trying to have a real conversation here. What's the criteria? Well, I mean, that's a great question. What is the criteria for assessing that Nick is straight? Because, like, if I were okay, let's establish some criteria for assessing Nick is either straight or gay. The criteria that I would set for proof that Nick is straight is some sort of evidence that Nick has ever dated a girl. Has Nick ever gone out on a single date with a single girl that you guys know of? Well, no, Kelly. I mean, Kelly, this is correct. You don't have to have a girlfriend to be straight. But if we don't have that as the criteria, because we have to in order to prove that Nick I'm sorry, I'm barely holding it together. In order to prove that Nick Fuentes is straight, because that's the challenge here, right? Is like, we need to establish some criteria to prove emphatically that Nick is straight based on evidence, based on objective reality, things that we can all agree upon. So we can set the criteria as being Nick is straight because at some point in his life, Nick dated a girl. We have some sort of picture with a girl. He has gone out on a date at least once in his life with a girl. That could be criteria. Now, if Nick hasn't done that, that doesn't necessarily mean Nick is gay, right? But we would need to establish some other criteria in order to prove that Nick is actually straight if we can't use the criteria of he's had a girlfriend. So has Nick ever had a girlfriend? I'm being deadly serious. Have you guys ever seen any evidence at all? Has Nick ever expressed interest in a girl? Because I saw that video of Nick shopping in the mall with that cat guy. And it kind of seemed like that was a date. Just a little bit. I mean, they didn't kiss or anything, but it did kind of seem like that was a date. So we have evidence potentially that Nick has been on a date with someone who is obviously gay. So Tech Marine says he expresses interest in girl in the latest Pearly Things podcast. Okay, so we do have some evidence that Nick has expressed some interest in a girl. I suppose that's good. I suppose that's progress. Did he do it in like a straight sort of way where he was like, I want to sleep with the girl? Or did he do it in some sort of gay kind of way where he was commenting on the girl's appearance? I'm just trying to come up with objective criteria here. And I feel like you guys know gay men better than I do on a repressed level because you can't know anyone better than you know yourselves. But I feel like in reality, I probably know gay men better than you guys do because I attract gay men like moss to a flame. So I understand how gay men talk and I understand how straight men talk, all right? Well, yeah, I mean, this is actually true. The vast majority of men who watch my channel are gay men. Not all of them. There are some straight men too. I'm sure there are other sexualities and genders thrown in, whatever. But it is actually true that I have a disproportionately high percent of my male audience are gay. Absolutely. So has anyone come up with any evidence that Nick has dated a girl? Okay, so we're going to continue and watch a little bit more of this stream. And Groypers, I need you to dig deep here. Can we come up with some single piece of evidence that Nick is straight? Just one thing. Just one. That's all I'm asking. It's not too much. He's been a public person for a really long time. You guys have all sorts of files on everyone for everything. Just one piece of evidence that Nick Fuentes is straight. Let's keep going.
In a crowd with young people. I mean, she's got crowds of old people. And so when she can benefit in that way, she's all about it. When Milo's talking about some kind of like bringing Groypers in to do her dirty work, which is something
is
he
there
suggested.
A photo of this?
Well, she's all
is there
on
a picture?
board. It's not until we have a falling out with Ye, because of course she then wanted to visit Ye. It wasn't until he said he loved Hitler that then it all became a big liability. And then she decided, I'm a Fed informant, this, that, the other. Okay. So I think it's fair.
Inquisition Groiper sent $3. I think Senator Greene's career could be destroyed simply based on the fact that she's a homo habilis. I'm pretty sure the founding fathers only intended for modern humans to occupy the house.
Wow.
I think you're right. It's legal technicality. Homo sapiens only. You must be 25 years old.
Hang on. There is no need to be rude. Nick Fuentes knows a lot of people. Nick Fuentes is like world famous, right? He's the best guy, the most entertaining guy. I'm sure that Nick Fuentes has been around at least one girl as appealing and attractive and as amazing as he is. I find it just hard to believe that Nick's standards are so high that he has never been around one single girl, because honestly, like, I would think that women would be flocking to Nick. Would it, if Nick was really the most amazing person in the history of people, and he was just like the greatest at everything he does and the smartest and the best dresser and the richest and all of these things, wouldn't women just be flocking to him? Like, it would really seem to me that he would have the pick of the litter. And so all I'm asking is for one piece of evidence, just one, a photo, a text message, a video of one single time that Nick Fuentes has ever been on a date with a woman. That's all I'm asking for. Again, you guys have files on everyone. I know the way you work. You got all these things, you got screenshots and all this crap. Just one photo of Nick holding a girl's hand. Or with his arm around a girl in a way that it looks like they're on a date, not that he's out with his sister or something. I'm not asking too much, Grapers. I'm really not. We're talking about objective reality here. And I want objective evidence that Nick is straight.
You must be a resident. You must be a Homo sapien. Yeah, so I think she fails on that count.
McMahon sent $5. Sab Brothers? More like Sab Brothers frown.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
I like Savannah Hernandez, but yeah, kind of disappointing.
I can't believe that happened.
That's
I
how it
really.
goes, though.
Inquisition Grow I
Good for
percent
John Doyle.
$3. I've linked evidence her showing her species.
Human origins. Let's pull this up. Let's take a look. Yep, there she is. Early hominid.
McMahon sent $5. Isabella Riley Brothers been totally vindicated these past couple days.
True.
But she's married? I guess there is only one real option left.
I like
the best.
Isabella
Dasha
Riley.
and
She's
Anna from Red
hilarious.
Scare.
She's really funny.
Never gonna happen. Yeah, Isabella Riley. She's a real, she's very solid. I'm very happy with that.
Isabella Riley is the only one in that little sphere of people that I can stand because she is fucking hilarious. She really is. I don't agree with that person on anything. I really don't. But I like that she owns it and I like that she commits. And I just think she's hilarious. And I think she's actually really smart too, to be honest with you. And I loved her fight with Iggy Azalea. That Twitter space where Isabella Riley was like fighting with Iggy Azalea was one of the greatest Twitter spaces of all time. It was amazing.
She's a true ally. I appreciate her. I appreciate Josiah. They're good people.
Inquisition Grow I percent $3. What has this country come to? Milo will eventually betray MTG and run a campaign for Jumbo the Chimp. Milo might find Jumbo's muscularity attractive, but I don't think Jumbo will like butt sex.
He's going to find
Sad.
Wow.
simian.
Wow.
He's going to find some simian to try to primary her. Maybe the next stage, the next link in the chain of human evolution, he'll find or run against her. New and improved Homo sapien.
Chugger sent $5. Shout out to Dick Masterson. He said you're back the whole time with no
True.
benefit to himself despite disagreeing with you on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. He's been very friendly towards me, and I appreciate it. He was a real bro when I met up with him. It's loyalty, man.
Hang on. So Half Orc Fighter says, Carlin, you do realize there's a 50-50 chance that any girl he dates is going to be a beard, right? Well, I do realize that. And listen, I'm not saying that a single picture of Nick on a date with a girl is going to be like definitive evidence that Nick is straight. But because you're correct, there is the possibility. I would not put it past Nick Fuentes to date a girl just to, as a beard for show. However, I do think a really good start to establishing evidence that Nick is straight is just one picture of him with a girl that it looks like they're on a date or something. Or one piece of evidence that he's ever had a girlfriend or kissed a girl or hung out with a girl or talked to a girl or, I mean, just like, we have to start somewhere, right? It might not be perfect, but it's the system that we have. If anyone has a better suggestion, I am all ears.
That's what it's all about.
Jim's Tattoos sent $5. You cooked Milo last week, damn that was
Yes.
fire. The title of that nigga is well deserved. Nick is that nigga.
When I'm cooking, I'm cooking. That's what they call me.
Richard
that
Percival
nigga.
sent $10. If Biden deports Milo, I'll vote for him.
Same, actually. Same.
Lappy Online sent $50. I will never tire of defending Nicholas J. Fuentes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Listen,
that.
man.
I appreciate your
Listen,
support.
listen. Can I just, I know I have the attention of the Groypers right now, and I feel like I need to behave like a responsible adult and give you guys some sage advice. Please do not spend your lives following around after Nick Fuentes. Please don't do that. I'm not saying you can't enjoy his content. I'm not saying you can't participate in his subculture. You can do all those things. But I promise you that you are going to live a really sad, unfulfilling life if you spend all of your time following around Nick Fuentes and defending Nick Fuentes. And this is like all you say and all you do and where all your friends are. Listen, I'm not saying you can't be a part of this community. You can enjoy it, whatever. We all have our things. But just understand that there is a real world out there too. And it would greatly, you guys won't be incels if you go out into the real world and you actually like talk to girls. I promise you. I promise. But you're never going to be able to do that if you're following him around all the time. You know? It's really good advice. Just consider it. Maybe once in a while you go try to go meet someone in the real world. Just, it's okay to change it up. You don't have to do the same thing every day. All right, that's all the responsibility that I'm going to take for this situation.
Percival sent $5. Also, I'm looking forward to Grow Hyper War 2.
Soon.
Peanut Arbuckle sent $100
Hey,
for the
let's
anti-MTG
go.
War Fund.
Hey, thanks a lot for the big super chat.
NJFG4L.
Thank you very much, Peanut Arbuckle. I appreciate it, my man. And yeah, you better believe it.
Based_Pollen sent $20. When you get attacked that viscously, you know you're doing something right. Unfortunately, politics are sound bites and snippets. The Talmudic swindlers know work on the lowest common denominator. Doesn't work on us.
Well, hang on, Tech Marine. Tech Marine says we don't define our life for fornicating with some woman. You don't have, I'm not suggesting that the only thing that you can do when you leave the computer is to fornicate. I promise you guys, there are plenty of things that you can do in the world that are not fornication. You don't even have to hang out with girls if you don't want to. I'm just suggesting that every once in a while, just get off of the computer and go do something else. Like, go hang out with friends. Go see a movie. I was just at a mall this weekend. I know they still exist. Like, go hang out at a mall or a coffee shop or something. Go to a meetup. Go play Dungeons and Dragons with people at the comic book store. I don't know what you guys like to do. I'm just suggesting that you don't have to spend all your time worshiping Nick and talking about Nick and being in discussion forums about Nick and defending Nick's honor. I think it's noble that you do it. I don't agree with you, but there is something noble about defending someone who is attacked all the time. I would say that Nick probably deserves to be attacked a good bit of the time, but you know what? It's good to have people that will have your back. And I appreciate the fact that you guys have made like a little club around this sort of thing. It's where your friends are. I get it. I'm just suggesting that it's not the most healthy culture. And maybe sometimes going outside and doing other things would just be a good idea. That's all. You don't have to be incels. You really don't. I promise you.
Stay strong, NJF. We're with you.
Yeah, Goebbels
Christ is
was
king.
right. Goebbels was right about this. He said about the Jews, you can never, defend yourself because they just invent a new lie every day. He had this one right for sure. But thanks a lot, buddy.
Pragmatic Culture sent $50. God constantly reminds we're on the right side when arrays all the freaks, pedophiles, feds, and Jews against us. But I repeat myself. God bless Toynik07.
Thanks a lot.
Hang on. So, I mean, see, this is nice. See, this is why I understand why groypers become groypers. There's a community around it. You guys support each other. You really feel like you are the only ones that each other have. I get it. So I think this is actually nice. We support our incel bros, stay based. Okay. You know, it's fine to have community, but you guys can still be friends and have sex with girls or boys, whatever floats your boat. I'm not judging. What you like, but you can still be friends and have sex. And if you want to get married before you have sex, then I'm sure there are still women out here there that will do that. But I promise you, you don't have to give up your community in order to have sex. You can do both. And in fact, every one of you will probably be happier if you do both.
Buddy, I appreciate it, man. You're right about that.
Edward Saul sent $3. Prayers up for you, King. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every tongue which
Yeah, I feel like we're having a good bonding moment, Groypers. We have so many questions. Like, Bot wants to know, like, are you guys asexual? We don't judge. We don't judge at all. Like, again, like what you like, don't like what you don't like. It's all fine. It's all good, man. But are you guys asexual? Like, really? Like, again, you're not using your real name, so you can answer honestly. We don't know who you are. So, is that what it is? Is it like are you guys just not interested in sex? Is that why you became incels and started following Nick? But like, you can be a real human being and be asexual. Again, we're not judging. ADAD says, do you really think his fans are just chronically online? I make more than market value of your house that took you a 30-year mortgage for. Well, I mean, I bought my house 10 years ago when I was just like starting out and had scraped together a down payment on my own. So, you know what? Good for you if you make money, bro. But like, I'm perfectly happy in the house that I bought like a long ass time ago. But, you know, you're really showing that you're kind of a giant piece of shit for looking up information about other people's houses. And I'm so glad you're worried for me. But really, this is about you. I feel fine about my position in life, but I don't know. I'm not looking up other people's houses to try to make myself feel better. It doesn't matter to me at all what type of house you live in. So, spoiler alert, and I say this as a psychologist, people who are happy with their lives don't go around looking up other people's houses to say, hey, you have this type of house and me. People who are genuinely happy with their lives don't do that, bro. Let's see. Does anyone actually answer the asexual question? No. Okay, well, if you guys want to answer questions, I am more like we can just talk, you know. We don't have to insult each other. I haven't insulted you. Let's keep going. We'll watch a little bit more.
rises against you in judgment. You shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord.
Thank you, Ed. Yeah. Well, it's a tale as old as time. You read the Bible, it's not really a book about people that do the right thing and then their life goes amazingly. You know, like the Bible fundamentally is not about that. It's not about, hey, if you just are the right kind of person and you tell the truth, everyone likes you and you get rewarded. It's more like the people that are trying to do the right thing the most get tortured and get their heads cut off and eaten by lions and literally crucified and stuff. So it's kind of what we're in for. It's kind of like that's sort of the bargain. So, but I appreciate it, Ed. Big shout out. I'm putting on the armor of God.
Karma Yan sent $3. Love you, Nick. Super based. Fuck Milo.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Roman sent.
All right, we're getting some interaction here. I appreciate the interaction. Who are you to judge who isn't happy in their lives? You are living off the coattails of a man who has infinitely more pull in politics than you ever will. Are you satisfied with that? Fine God. Well, so there's a lot to break down in this, but I'm happy to do so. Who am I to judge who is and is not happy in their lives? As a psychologist who has been doing this for a while now, it is actually very easy for me to tell who is and is not happy in their lives. And what I know is that people who are proactively doxing other people on the internet for fun to try to seek external validation when they could be giving themselves internal validation, those people tend not to be very happy in their lives. Because people who are happy in their lives, they don't actually need to prove anything to anyone else. So, maybe I got it wrong, but if I did get it wrong, why would it matter? Because if you were genuinely happy in your life, then why would it even matter what I say at all? It would make no difference. So you kind of reveal yourself there. You are living off the coattails of a man who has infinitely more pull in politics than you ever will. God, I hope that's true. I hope I am never relevant in politics at all. Nothing, I cannot imagine a worse existence than that. I cannot imagine a more toxic existence than that. Being on the periphery of that was quite enough for me. Thank you. Am I satisfied with that? Yes, I am deeply satisfied with where I'm at right now. 100% satisfied. Much more than I was when I was quote unquote relevant. So I'm cool, man, but thank you for asking. I do appreciate it. Find God. I have a great relationship with God. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a Jew either. I have an amazing relationship with God. You don't have to worry about that. But I appreciate the concern. Let's keep going.
Sent $3. Why is the onus on you to monitor the activity of
He's not.
minors online? Isn't that their parents' job? Besides, I never thought Ali was really even AF. I'm confused. How's this your problem?
That's exactly right. He was never at AFPAC. We've had 3 AFPACs. He's never been to one of them. And he never claimed to be a groiper. In fact, he explicitly said he was not a groiper and not part of this. So that's a great question.
Idolan Groiper sent $3. No one is free until you are free. The entire world will hear you voice Nick. The absurdity is poetic. Your story will be beautiful.
Yeah, well, can't wait for it to be beautiful. I can't wait for that to happen. But yeah, thank you.
Stinger sent $3.
No, thank you. I don't need a Bible.
Nick. Thanks for all you do.
Hey, thank you, man.
Boo sent $3. No one knows what it's like to be the band man, to be the alog man, behind Green Eye.
Nice, that's good.
Super Lionheart sent
What the fuck does that
$5.
mean?
I said this on Twitter. People don't give you enough credit for your impeccable moral character. Nobody can attack you based on merit, so they go after dysfunctional people adjacent to you.
True, yeah, as always.
Roman sent $3. I don't know if this is too personal, but I was wondering how your parents are doing. Both with cancer at the same time? That's rough. Praying for them.
They're doing well, thank you. Yeah, my father's just managing it. His is not so bad. And my mom's in remission, so they're doing good.
Well, that's
Thank
good
you.
anyway. I am glad to hear that.
Reactionary Retard sent $50. KRD4NJF. Forever loyal to you and AF. They hate to see an innocent and Christ-like man succeed. Crabs in a bucket mentality. Every growiper is behind you all the way, always praying for you, big guy less than 3.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. God bless. And I appreciate your loyalty.
Boo sent $3. Did you watch the Mario movie yet? In the movie everyone doubts Mario, but he never gives up. Maybe you will be able to relate to that. And Mario is also Italian American and logged by an evil turtle.
Wow, just like me. I haven't seen it yet.
Brandon sent $10. Pillow partition?
Oh, come
Nigga,
on.
that wasn't no
Jesus
Percocet.
Christ.
Yeah, man. Yeah, seriously. That whole deal was goofy, man.
All right, guys. You know what? I think we're going to wrap it up now because it really doesn't look like it's going anywhere else. Like, I think we got all the goods that we're going to get. But Groipers, I want to thank you for actually some of you being civil and like not assholes in the chat. I mean, we had to block a couple people, but way less than usual when we stream your hero, Nick. And, I really do want to just like appreciate the people who did actually have some sort of positive interaction. Maybe I imparted some wisdom on you tonight. Maybe you will will go out and touch grass. Maybe if even the one single seed is planted, that I promise you, you can actually find sex in the world. You don't just have to follow Nick around. I promise you, there are women who will sleep with you. There are probably men who will sleep with you as well, if that's more your thing. Like, just, you don't always have to be assholes. There's no need to be rude. I feel like we made some progress tonight. And if one of you wants to send me evidence that Nick has ever been on a date with a girl, then I would gladly take it. Now, Tech Marine, no, we're not doing that, Tech Marine. No, 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 no. I told you none of that. We're wrapping up. You held it together so well for most of it. It's too bad. Too bad. Had a great conversation. Starts saying inappropriate shit in my chat. Gotta block him. It's too bad. Could have remained friends, but no, it was not meant to be. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me for Nitwits tonight with Nick Fuentes After Dark. We talked about Ali Alexander and the Nick Fuentes stuff and the Milo stuff and the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. I will continue to keep an eye on this situation because it is our own little reality TV show that you just can't get enough of it. You just can't. Now the Groypers are all acting up. It must have been so hard for the Groypers to be in my chat for like 15 minutes without having an outburst of some sort. You guys really need to get laid. This is the lack of sex. I promise you. It will all be better. Life will be better if you just get laid. All right, guys. I'm going to bed. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. We'll be streaming at 5 p.m. Take care. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.